Welcome to Fenway Park on a beautiful night for baseball. The Red Sox welcome the American League West Seattle Mariners for the first of a 3-game weekend series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and welcome to Red Sox baseball. The Red Sox are very happy to be home after a long West Coast trip that ended in Baltimore. They were 6-3 on the trip, and tonight they send Daisuke Matsuzaka to the mound. He has truly been a mystery in his career for the Red Sox, but the last two outings have been very special for Daisuke. Back-to-back, very good outings. He's been almost unhittable over his last two starts, just 2 hits in 15 innings. It marks just the third time in history a Red Sox pitcher has gone at least 7 innings and has not allowed 1 or fewer hits in consecutive starts. The 15 innings of scoreless ball marked the second longest streak of his career. He posted a streak of 24 consecutive scoreless innings back in 2008. The 9 strikeouts he had last time out were one of his career high. Well, tonight the Seattle Mariners are in town, led by old friend Eric Wedge, who's in the ballpark tonight with the Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are in last place in the American League West, but playing good baseball. Had a lot of runs over this last 3-game series against the Detroit Tigers, in which they swept the Tigers and come in playing very good baseball. The Mariners' offense scored 24 runs in the 3-game sweep of the Tigers. Ichiro hit his customary .333 in the series, going 5 for 15. But it was the Mariners' 4 and 5 hitters that did the most damage. Catcher Miguel Olivo with 2 homers in the series, scored 6 runs. First baseman Justin Smoke, the centerpiece of last season's Cliff Lee deal, knocked in 8 runs in the series, including a career-high 5 in the Wednesday win. So the Red Sox are back home to begin this 11-day, 11-game homestand. We're back with more from Fenway Park right after this. Series between the Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, and welcome to Red Sox baseball. It is our pleasure to have Hall of Famer Peter Gammons with us tonight. Jerry Remy is still on the DL and under the weather tonight, so it is Peter in the big seat tonight. And Peter, the Red Sox coming back from a road trip in which they went 6-3. Some of the bats got hot, and it starts at the top of the order with Jacoby Ellsbury.
Well, he did have a very good trip. I mean, I think it's very important. I think when he got off to a slow start, we've forgotten just how tough it is to basically take a year off and then try to come back. Ellsbury's a good hitter, a better hitter than we realized in 2007 when he was just banging the ball around the ballpark. He's got Grady Sizemore kind of power. He hits doubles. But what the Red Sox would love most is for him to become an elite leadoff hitter. He's got a .333 on-base percentage out of the leadoff spot. If he gets on base 38 to 40% of the time, with his ability to steal bases, to be able to score from first on any ball hit by Pedroia or Gonzalez, to be able to move the defenses around, he becomes an elite player. And I think a part of the game that we haven't yet seen is his ability to bunt. Now, I raised the question. I was told by coaches, this guy's the best bunter on the team. He's bunted once all year. If he can start to bunt, and of course, I remember how hard Jerry Remy worked at it. He could bunt the third, to short, to second, to first. They tell me Ellsbury can do that. When he starts to mix that in, get on base more, I think he'll make this offense really dynamic.
Well, tonight the Red Sox will deal with Jason Vargas on the mound for the Seattle Mariners. Lifetime 0-1 against the Red Sox and just 1-5 against the AL East. Back with the first pitch from Fenway right after this. AT&T, your New England Subaru dealer, Jordan's Furniture, and by Southwest Airlines. Beautiful night for baseball here in Boston as the sun sets and the Red Sox are back home at Fenway Park. Lights are on at the yard as the Red Sox are in their red alternate jerseys on this Friday night, and as the Red Sox take the field to check out the visiting Seattle Mariners, starting 9. Ichiro at the top of the order for the M's, hitting at .313 this year. Sean Figgins, the former Angel, is at third base with Milt Bradley in left field. Miguel Olivo does the catching. Justin Smoke is at first base with Jack Cutts, the DH. Adam Kennedy, another former Angel, he's at second base, batting 7th. Michael Saunders in center, bats 8th, and it's Brendan Ryan at shortstop who bats 9th. On the mound for the Red Sox tonight is Daisuke Matsuzaka, his 5th start, and he is 2-2 with victories each of the last 2 times out against Toronto and at Los Angeles. Opponents are hitting under 200 against Daisuke at 198 heading into tonight's action. I mentioned his last outing against the Angels, an 8-inning effort in which he gave up 1 hit. He walked 3, struck out 9, and his second straight outing in which he did not allow a run. Defensively for the Red Sox tonight, around the infield from third to first, Kevin Youkilis, Jed Lowry, Dustin Pedroia, and Adrian Gonzalez. In the outfield left to right, McDonald, Ellsbury, and Cameron. The battery tonight is Jason Varitek catching Daisuke Matsuzaka, and the defense is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture. Umpiring crew tonight, Sam Holbrook has the play calling the balls and strikes with Greg Gibson at first base. Todd Titchener is the umpire at second, and the crew chief of this 4-man crew is Jerry Davis at third base. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game. All right. right now, very comfortable conditions at Fenway Park with a light breeze blowing from left to right across the outfield. 68 degrees with a breeze at 15 miles per hour. And partly cloudy expected tonight, but right now blue skies above Fenway Park. As we welcome Hall of Famer Peter Gammons along with us tonight. And Peter, welcome to the booth. And I guess good to be home for the Red Sox at this point after such a long trip.
Oh, I think so. And this ballpark, theoretically, it's going to be a huge home field advantage for them. I mean, when they played here earlier in the season, they were a little bit out of sync, but I think as it warms up, and Adrian Gonzalez was talking about this, I mean, people worried about his home runs. Yes, the Red Sox don't have 2 home runs out of catcher, first base, left field, but as Adrian was saying, look, I mean, in time when it heats up, when more guys get on base, things are going to flow, and, you know, he's right, too. It's RBIs that counts, not home runs.
You know, here's one of the game's most exciting players. Ichiro Suzuki stands in on the left side to get it started. His countryman Daisuke Matsuzaka deals with the pitch up top for ball 1, and we're underway. As Ichiro comes in hitting his standard up over 300, 313, no homers and 12 runs batted in. There are some guys who just pay to watch, and for me, this is one of those guys.
Absolutely. Every at bat is a little bit of a drama. He's a great outfielder, great base runner, and he lives. I spent a lot of time with him during the World Baseball Classic about 5 years ago, and I was fascinated. First of all, he speaks better English than I do, but he's an extremely passionate player.
It's amazing. We were talking a little bit today about guys who hit for average that could hit for power if they wanted to. And I always get the feeling Ichiro, if he wanted to, could hit a bunch of home runs.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I've seen him take batting practice at times and hit the ball out a lot. But people have tried to get him to change to that, and it didn't work.
The 2-1 pitch is lofted foul, and it's 2-2.
I mean, the classic example of that was Wade Boggs. I mean, on the road with him, we'd point out, that's where George Brett hit the home run off Rich Gossage. Second pitch, he hit in the third deck in Yankee Stadium, but never really wanted to do it during the games, and that's fine.
Daisuke ready with a 2-2 pitch to Ichiro. He just swats it away and fouls it off, and much like Wade Boggs, with 2 strikes, Ichiro just continue to foul pitches off. So far, Daisuke has not thrown him a strike. Daisuke using his fastball a lot over the last 2 starts and locating extremely well. One of the starts he was not successful. He was throwing his fastball a lot, but was not locating. And Ichiro sends it foul down the left field line to get back into the seats.
Well, I thought it was significant in those 2 starts for 2 reasons. One, it kind of showed that he's not afraid to throw fastballs in the strike zone. His fastball's good enough. He's in much better shape. The routine has changed a little bit. But I think the other thing is that speeding up that tempo makes his teammates so much better. I just think it's tough to play behind him when he's 3-2 on everybody.
This is in the air. It'll be a fair ball this time finally, and out is the shortstop. Lowry gives way to McDonald, who makes the catch for the first out here in the first inning. Long battle with Ichiro, a 7-pitch at bat, and finally Daisuke gets him to fly out to short left field. Matsuzaka did not throw a lot of strikes in this exchange, and this one was up high. It was not going to be a strike either. But Ichiro pops it out to short left, and he's out number 1. Here is a tough guy to figure out in Sean Figgins. Had such great success with Mike Scioscia in L.A. since coming to Seattle, and now this is his 2nd season with the Mariners. He has not enjoyed that kind of success, and coming into tonight, sitting at just 191.
I find that hard to believe. I thought he was one of the most valuable guys. He can play so many positions. He's got so much energy. He's such one of those guys who's always smiling. I talked to him about it today, and he said, you know, I mean, for some reason, as a free agent, I never relaxed in Seattle.
This one is fouled off. You think in some regard we're seeing the same things with Carl Crawford, the way he started here in Boston?
I think so. And we really saw it with Adrian Beltre in Seattle. He never really relaxed. That ballpark wasn't good for him, but for a guy that plays with as much ferocity as Beltre plays, it's really hard to believe he was a little bit intimidated. But I think we've seen it. I really believe that with Carl Crawford. I think he'll come out of it. But there's no question he's been pressing too hard.
1-1 pitch missing to Sean Figgins. It appeared that Figgins fit in so well with what Mike Scioscia likes to do out there, and the kind of game he likes to use when he's managing. And Figgins fit right into what it was that Scioscia liked to do out there. And coming here to Seattle, certainly a different venue for him and a different style of game. As a 2-1 misses, 3-1.
I do think he's a little bit more comfortable now talking to him. That I think he's gotten used to Eric Wedge, and I think that he plays the kind of game that Eric Wedge wants to play. And I think that he's starting to realize, look, he went there, he was supposed to really change the franchise around a little bit. He could just go back to being Sean Figgins.
3-1 pitch to Figgins. He hits a ground ball softly down the first baseline. It'll kick foul, as Gonzalez made sure, and it's a full count. Figgins has hit safely in 4 of the last 5 games, and actually talked about his average being only 191. The last 5 games, he's actually raised it from 162 up to 191 where it is. And this year, rather than moving around, last year we saw him a lot at second base. He's started now 25 of 27 games at third base. So they're on a more regular basis, in a spot we saw him a lot with the Angels. It's a very versatile, can play the outfield as well. 3-2 is fouled off, and we'll do it again. Jason Varitek doing the catching tonight again of Daisuke Matsuzaka, and we've seen a lot more of Jason lately.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things you say, if he's on a 110, 120 game schedule, is he going to be able to hold up the age of 39? Who knows? He's in unbelievable shape, but he clearly is the guy that they want catching Daisuke.
3-2 is high, and Figgins will work a 1-out walk here in the first inning. Friday Night Baseball on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Great seats at great prices. 1-out, 1-on for the Mariners here in the first inning. Sean Figgins always a threat to take off as he talks it over with Adrian Gonzalez at first base. And here is Milton Bradley. It's in the 3 spot for the Mariners. And swings at the first pitch, sends it to right at Mike Cameron. He makes the catch out in right field for out number 2. Most have been very patient with Daisuke Matsuzaka in their approach. Not Milton Bradley out after that first pitch.
And Milton's history is being very patient, but he gets a fastball in the strike zone, which I do think says something about Daisuke's fastball. The fact that he was willing to throw it to Figgins, behind in the count. Again, first pitch fastball in the strike zone to Milton, who is dangerous no matter what his average might say.
2 down, Sean Figgins at first base. Here's the catcher for the Mariners, Miguel Olivo. It's in the cleanup spot for Eric Wedge. Quick check on Figgins, who darts back to the bag. Olivo's had 3 straight multi-hit games, 7 for his last 13 to raise that average up to 230. The Mariners do a lot of hitting in that sweep of the Detroit Tigers in the last 3-game series. It's part of this 6-game trip prior to arriving here at Fenway Park. So while his team is last in the American League West, they're playing some good baseball coming in.
And Olivo did hit that great home run in Detroit, when it was deflected over the left field fence, a la Jose Canseco.
Olivo with 2 home runs so far during the regular season. Daisuke deals, and there's a rocket to left. McDonald going back as quickly off the wall and left as Figgins heads for third. Throw goes to second, and in at second base with a double is Olivo. Line drive shot to left field off the scoreboard for Miguel Olivo. And it's second and third now for the Mariners with 2 down. Daisuke right over the heart of the plate that time with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. It is Miguel Olivo plants it on the scoreboard and left.
He hooked that fastball a little bit away from him, and he hooked it right up on the wall. I don't know if that's a single or an error or a double.
It is.
Yeah.
A single and an error. They charge McDonald that bobble out there in left field. Allows Olivo to take second base. So second and third, 2 down, and here's Justin Smoke. So a season high 10-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action, and hitting at .371 during that time. 0 for 3 in his career against Daisuke. He takes ball 1. Look at this bobble by McDonald. Tried to barehand it and couldn't do it cleanly.
It looked like it hit in the opening. It looked like it hit in such a way that the ball dropped down much faster because it hit the top of one of the number openings.
Ground ball, base hit into right field off the bat of Smoke. In is Figgins with one run. Here comes Olivo with another run. And the Mariners break on top 2-0 here in the first inning. A 2-run, 2-out single for Justin Smoke. And the Mariners able to score a pair here off Daisuke Matsuzaka, which teams have not been able to do in each of his last two outings. Just quickly through the right side into right field.
Well, I think the message is fairly clear that the game plan was to go out after Daisuke and see if they can hit his fastball.
Very aggressive here so far in this first inning are the Mariners, and it's paying off. Swinging at the first or second pitch in most cases. There's Jack Cust, who's not afraid to swing as he swings and misses for strike one. Part of our key matchup brought to you by your New England Acura dealers. Cust has 8 strikeouts and 14 at-bats against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Cust, a guy while with the Oakland A's, would strike out a lot, hit his fair share of home runs, but he also walked quite a bit.
Well, he was sort of the ultimate perception of money ball player.
And he played in the right place for that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up here with the Seattle Mariners.
Well, he was originally drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks because he had gone to Buck Showalter's baseball school and never forgotten. Cust's father runs a great baseball school and program in the state of New Jersey. So Buck was running the Diamondbacks, so hey, that's one of my boys.
He struck out 4 times in Detroit, 12th time in his career that he'd done that. As part of that series against the Tigers, they stack it up on the right side in a shift as there is a strike from Daisuke Matsuzaka. There is the shift with Pedroia stride on the outfield grass, and Lowry swung around on the right side. He was first on the team with 16 walks and 29 strikeouts. So again, a lot of walks and a lot of Ks for Cust. 1-2 is a check swing foul. Well, the Red Sox seeing the AL West up close, and of course the first time they played the Mariners so far this season, but certainly got to be impressed with the way the Texas Rangers are playing so far this season. I know Terry Francona is.
Well, they've had so many injuries. I mean, they've actually had injuries to 11 different pitchers on the top 3 levels of their organization, and they have kept winning. Now, whether that's going to hold up if they can't get their bullpen in place, but for now, they keep winning, and they are very aggressive. They play very hard, and Josh Hamilton will be back very soon.
Mariners right now on the bottom looking up. They're 4.5 games back of the Rangers. The Angels in second and game out. And Eric Wedge, of course, the former manager of the Cleveland Indians. Lost the 7-game series to the Red Sox in the American League Championship Series in 2007. And the Indians really unable to come back after that situation. And neither was Eric Wedge, who was eventually let go by the Indians in a second go-around here for Eric. Great to see him again, and the skipper of the Seattle Mariners.
Well, I think he's the right. This franchise had become very negative in the last couple of years, and I think Don Wakamatsu was a good manager who just wrong place, wrong time. But Eric has brought back some vibrancy, and I really sense it with the players that they believe they're in the right direction.
There is strike 3. Cust thought he had ball 4, but Daisuke gets his first K of the night. The Mariners grab a pair. The Red Sox are coming up. Park. Mariners grab 2 in the top of the first inning. The Seattle Mariners have Jason Vargas on the mound tonight. His 6th start of the year, comes in 0-2 with a 5.53 earned run average. He's worked in 27 2/3 innings. We have 21 strikeouts, 7 walks, and his last outing was against the Oakland A's. Went 5 innings, took the loss. He gave up 6 runs in the 5-inning effort. He was 28 years of age. 91st career start in Major League Baseball. Came over from the Mets in a 3-team, 12-player trade back in 2008.
He is not overpowered, but hitters admire him because he will throw the ball around the plate. He throws a little backdoor breaking ball to right-handed hitters. He's not afraid of it. He's, you have to hit him. He's nothing great, but with Eric Bedard being really good his last outing, if he's a 4th starter, he's pretty good.
He's got a fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. And it is Jacoby Ellsbury who fires it foul off to the left out of play. Very nice road trip for Ellsbury, as Peter highlighted as part of our open tonight. Ellsbury hitting at .264, 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Season high 3 hits in each of the last 2 games in Baltimore. As he fouls it off down the left field line out of play. And you can see his confidence starting to grow here. He rides a 7-game hitting streak heading into tonight's action. Confidence seems to be growing ever since he got back in that leadoff spot for Terry Francona. Terry's saying many times he's just got to get on base. This is down to first, and Cust will tag the bag for the first out. Let's check out the Red Sox starting 9. It's brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Ellsbury in the top spot in center field, with Dustin Pedroia batting second at second base. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Kevin Youkilis at third, batting fourth. David Ortiz at DH, with Jed Lowry back at shortstop. Mike Cameron gets a start in right field. Jason Varitek does the catching, batting eighth. And Darnell McDonald in left field bats ninth. One out here in the first inning for Dustin Pedroia, who takes strike 1. I know you talked to Terry about Jacoby Ellsbury before in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, it really is more important. I mean, it would be nice if he hit 16 or 18 home runs, but it's more important that he get on base all the time, as we talked about in the open, because he changes everything. We saw him score from second base on a wild pitch once, and we've seen him alter defenses. And Dustin Pedroia is a dead fastball hitter, and then you get Gonzalez fastballs, you get Euclid. It just changes the way people play.
Probably a term that is overused is game changer, but would you agree that Ellsbury is a game changer?
I do, and I think he is a more dynamic player than we've realized thus far, because I remember seeing him play in the Cape in 2004. He was still very skinny, wasn't developing. He's remarkably strong. I mean, you see him take BP, and he'll hit balls deep back of the bullpen.
This one is right back at Vargas on the side of the hill, retrieves it, throws out Pedroia for the second out of the inning. Let's check out how the Mariners line up defensively. Third to first in the infield, it is Sean Figgins, Brendan Ryan, Adam Kennedy, and Jack Cust. As it is in the outfield from left to right, Bradley, Saunders, and Suzuki. And the catcher for the Mariners, Miguel Olivo, as on the mound is Jason Vargas. Something has come out down the left field line. Apparently a jacket or something falling from the grandstand, and he is retrieved down that left field line. So 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning, and here is Adrian Gonzalez. At 306 with a home run, 15 runs batted in. Sits safely in 11 of the last 12 games and rides a 5-game hitting streak coming into tonight. He takes ball 1 from Jason Vargas.
He talks a lot about getting his hands in motion, and when you watch him take BP, he's so much of a hands hitter, and he said his hands were never really in sync early in the season. It might be starting the season in cold weather, which he's obviously hasn't done in San Diego, but he feels they're coming around. He said there's absolutely nothing to the notion there's something still wrong with his shoulder.
Pulls this to right, and it'll fall in for a base hit. Ichiro over to plate as Adrian Gonzalez extends the hitting streak to 6 games. A 2-out base hit to right. corner that time for Adrian Gonzalez. That's such a pretty swing. He's fun to watch. And able to get a base hit here with 2 outs in the first inning. Just effortless. And now up to that 6-game hitting streak, 11 for 24 along the way. There's Kevin Youkilis. He'll take strike 1. Youkilis with an average of just 208, on base percentage of 383. 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Youkilis against left-handed pitching has 3 home runs and is hitting at .310 against lefties. And a swing and a miss. 1-2. Had the hip tighten up on him a little bit last night, sliding into second base, and his ground ball off the bat of Ortiz. Went into second. He felt some tightness afterwards, and of course was lifted from the game a little bit later. And Jed Lowry coming in at third base.
So he's got to learn to not try to be a kamikaze sliding around the base. I mean, it's not like he's a graceful. I mean, he plays so hard, but it's not easy for him. And that pounding that he takes when he does slide like that. I mean, he was flying through the air trying to take out the infielder. It's one of those things. Sometimes you have to use some discretion.
2-2 is downstairs for ball 3. And Daisuke Matsuzaka ran into trouble with 2 outs in the first inning. Red Sox trying to get to Jason Vargas here with 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. They elect not to hold him on. Smoke playing behind him at first. David Ortiz on deck. 3-2 is a swing and a miss for strike 3. A strikeout for Vargas, and the Red Sox are gone in the first. Mariners have a 2-0 lead. Now set their sights on the Philadelphia Flyers. Join Catherine Tappan and Barry Peterson tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. A Bruins face-off live for an in-depth preview of the series in Game 1. As always, follow the developing action at NESN.com/Bruins. Second inning, and Adam Kennedy, more of his first pitch swinging against Daisuke. He lifts a fly ball to right field. Mike Cameron is out there, and he makes the catch for out number 1 of the second inning. No doubt this was the approach for the Mariners tonight against Daisuke.
No doubt.
They're out after that first or second pitch as they were in the first inning.
And even Ichiro, who in 27 plate appearances against Daisuke before this had 5 walks, was swinging at every pitch.
So 1 out here in the second inning. Michael Saunders coming up. Saunders, the center fielder, hitting at .231, the home run and 6 runs batted in. Shows bunt, pulls back and takes ball 1 inside. Saunders has hit safely in 4 of his last 5 games. 1 for 4 in his career against Daisuke. Curveball misses, and it's 2-0. Well, here is the schedule for the Boston Bruins beginning on Saturday against the Philadelphia Flyers. The first game that can be seen on NESN will be Game 4, and then Game 6, if necessary, on the 10th. We'll look at the schedule coming up for the Boston Bruins. Daisuke falling behind 3-0. Walked a batter in the first in Sean Figgins, and that turned into a run. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. What differences did you see in Daisuke when he was going bad to begin the year to what he's done the last 2 times out?
I just think pounding the strike zone with both his fastball and he's used his off-speed pitches a little bit better, but I think it's just been fastball command.
There's a fastball right there. It was foul tipped into the catcher's mitt by Saunders. It's not going to overpower you, but it is sneaky fast.
This guy was 33-15 his first 2 years, and then he got hurt, and maybe he just lost a lot of confidence in his fastball.
This misses downstairs, and there's a 1-out walk to Michael Saunders. Well, this May, visit Fenway Park to see 2 great Red Sox games. First, be there when the Red Sox play either the Angels or Twins, and then pair that with a date to see the Chicago Cubs long-awaited return to Fenway Park. Seats are available in a variety of locations throughout the ballpark. Visit redsox.com/doubleplay to get your tickets today. 1 out in the second inning. Michael Saunders at first base, and here's Brendan Ryan outside of the number 9 spot for the Mariners. There goes Saunders on a pitch outside from his knees. Varitek fires, but no chance to get Saunders, who steals second base. Pretty good jump for Saunders.
Very good jump.
Varitek had to throw it from his knees, and it's very late. Second theft of the year for Saunders. (1-0) to Brendan Ryan. Have to wait as time is called.
Ryan did a very good job defensively for the Cardinals last year. I thought it was a big part of that team, and kind of fell out of favor with Tony La Russa, and they shipped him out of town. But he was a good player for them for 2 years.
Traded in December, signed to a 2-year contract after the deal. 1-0 is popped up left side of the Sox infield. Youkilis making his way towards the mound. The wind played with it a tad, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Breeze going to play with it a little bit here. Is blowing in for a moment, kind of a swirling wind. Just died down for the moment, as Daisuke was able to get Brendan Ryan a pitch running right back in on him. So 2 down here in the second inning. Michael Saunders in scoring position at second, and here's Ichiro. We're talking about the Seattle Mariners in the clubhouse over the last couple of years. Don Wakamatsu, and it seemed that there's a lot of bad feelings about the way that Ken Griffey Jr.'s second go around with the Mariners really ended, and it seemed that nothing good was happening with the Mariners at all.
No, and you can't blame Griffey. Wakamatsu took a lot of grief for stuff that clearly wasn't his. He was blamed for leaking the story about Jr. being asleep in the clubhouse. He didn't do it. And it just led to a lot of hard feelings. I remember I talked to Griffey. He was driving from Seattle to Orlando and called a few times. And he realized the manager wouldn't do that. The manager doesn't decide to release Ken Griffey. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I think they worked things out pretty well after that. But and Junior knew it was time. I mean, as he drove from Seattle to Orlando, he was making phone calls, setting up the deal to buy the bus so he could drive his daughter's AAU team up and down the East Coast to go to every camp and every tournament. So I just love that notion of Junior Griffey driving his the girls' basketball bus.
Nice game missing for ball 2, 2-1. How do you gauge Ichiro as a teammate? You don't get to see the Seattle Mariners very much on a regular basis here at Fenway, but how do you see him as being a clubhouse? Is he a clubhouse guy? Is he separate from the rest? How do you feel?
He is separate, but he plays so hard. He's such a good player.
It's a fly ball to left field. McDonald has room. We'll talk more about Ichiro next inning as he makes a grab out there in left. Saunders is left at second base. Mariners have a 2-0 lead. Giving you a chance to win a Stratton Golf Getaway for 6. Visit VermontVacation.com for your chance to win. VermontVacation.com contest ends Sunday, so act now. Beautiful shots of Vermont. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, David Ortiz, Jed Lowry, and Mike Cameron to bat in the inning against Jason Vargas. Give up a single in the first, had a strikeout to 18 pitches in the first inning. Mariners in the shift on David Ortiz. We saw Buck Showalter not shift against Ortiz. A lot of the series against the Orioles in Baltimore, but the Mariners going back to that customary theory.
I think one of the things that Buck saw was that David's become much more patient, not swinging at the ball up in the strike zone from left-handers, consciously trying to go the other way.
Grounds this one right side. It is Ryan, the shortstop, throws to first for the out. One down here in the second. Let's check in with Heidi.
Don, David Ortiz is not having those same early season struggles he had the past 2 seasons. In fact, he's hitting left-handers at a .385 clip heading into today, even better than he's hitting right-handers. Terry Francona talked today about why he's doing so well.
He's swinging at strikes, not chasing the ball out of the zone, taking his walks, and he's staying through the middle. Had a nice at-bat against Gonzalez here tonight where he stayed right back up through the middle. He's kind of taking what they give him, and he's not expanding the zone.
Overall, Ortiz is batting .282 with 2 home runs. And Francona also said sometimes when you start out slow, you try to swing your way out of it, and that's why guys swing at bad pitches. He said that's what he saw from Ortiz last year and what he's seeing from Carl Crawford early this season. Don?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. Jed Lowry lifts a fly ball to center that gets knocked down by the wind. And Michael Saunders making the catches. That one's sinking quickly on him, but makes the grab 2 down as Mike Cameron is making his way up.
Peter, your thoughts on David Ortiz facing lefties? I know talking to Terry Francona was a conversation they had before the season about perhaps David sitting against lefties. David said, well, if I'm hitting, then I shouldn't be sitting. He said, well, if you're hitting, then you won't be sitting, but still had to be a little uncomfortable.
You know, and I sat down with him and did a long sit down with him in spring training.
This is in the air down the right field line over his Ichiro towards the pole. That ball is going to wrap its way around the pole. A home run for Mike Cameron. The breeze blows that one right around the pesky pole and out of the yard. The Red Sox get on the board. It's now 2-1. Fly ball down the right field line that ends up a few rows deep, and a home run for Mike Cameron, his first of the year.
What's the matter of Mike Cameron taking what Jason Vargas gives him? Ball out over the plate. He just tries to go the other way with it rather than try to hook it and pull it.
Fifth home run in his career against Seattle. And Mike Cameron, who has not had a lot of playing time so far in the year, has got himself a home run. He was good about that with 2 down here in the second inning. Jason Varitek batting out of the number 8 spot for the Red Sox. Hess and Hess Express are proud sponsors of the Red Sox, and the Red Sox on Nesson. During the 2011 Red Sox season, Hess and Hess Express will donate $500 to the Red Sox Foundation for every Red Sox home run. Hess and Hess Express committed to helping the cause. Varitek hits a high fly ball out to left center field, and it is Saunders, the center fielder, who makes the catch that ends the inning. Mike Cameron gets the Red Sox on the board. We played 2. It's 2-1 Seattle. Sox Talk on the radio home for Boston Red Sox baseball. John Dennis and Jerry Callahan. Weekday morning starting at 6 on the WEI Radio Sports Network. Of course, right here on Nesson as well. Well, Mike Cameron has homered down the right field line, and Red Sox get on the board. Mariners on top 2-1 as we head to inning number 3. Sean Figgins to lead it off for the Mariners. Walked his first time up and takes strike 1 from Daisuke. Higgins walked and scored. We were talking about David Ortiz for the home run.
Well, what he was saying was he never could hit the ball up and in on him anyway, and he started trying to do that against left-handed pitchers, and he got out of his ability to hit the ball away. And he said, you know, I kept thinking about, remember that a great afternoon game when he hit the home run off B.J. Ryan, throwing 98 miles an hour, down and away, hit it out to center field. And he said, I just thought about that. I went, wait a minute, that's who I am, not trying to hit balls up and in, which I couldn't hit when I was playing in Wausau, Wisconsin.
It was a strike to Sean Figgins.
Correction, Appleton, Wisconsin. I apologize.
Still in Wisconsin. In the right state. And Daisuke Matsuzaka in his 5th start of the year. He's won his last 2. He gives up 2 runs in the first. 1 was earned, 1 was not. It was an error charged in the inning to Darnell McDonald in left field on a bobble. Framed by Veritek, but it's outside. Missing on the fastball. It's 2-2. Figgins, Bradley, and Olivo to bat here in the 3rd inning. Chop towards second. Pedroia plays the high hop, and there's one away. Let's check back in with Heidi.
Thanks, Don. I'm here with Fenway Executive Chef Ron Abel, and we're talking signature sandwiches. They have them here at Fenway Park, too, where you can try the 2 different sandwiches and vote on them. What are the sandwiches you offer here at Fenway?
We have a turkey gobbler sandwich that has turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and gravy, and we have a monster big beef sandwich that is roast beef, caramelized onions, crispy onions, pickles on Kaiser bun with barbecue sauce.
We'll give the turkey one a try first.
Plenty of meat, right?
That's a really soft roll, too. That is Thanksgiving all rolled into one bite. Really good. Here's the monster roast. That's really good, too. I like the pickles on that. They're really sweet. But you know what? I thought I was going to like the roast beef better. I think I like the turkey. I like the Thanksgiving meal on a bun.
It's comfort food right here at Fenway.
It is. Very good. Got to try it. RedSox.com/sandwich. Come try it on the big concourse at Fenway. Done?
All right, Heidi, thanks very much. It's good that we finally checked out Fenway. We've checked out Oakland, we've checked out Cleveland. Might as well check where it is we are with 81 nights a year. It's a good stuff here at Fenway Park. Maybe we'll have more throughout the season. I didn't even know they had that here. It's good stuff.
Lobster rolls.
That's my favorite. One out here in the 3rd inning. Milton Bradley batting with a count of 2-2. This one fouled off to left, out of play.
What says a lot about Eric Wedge is the fact that Milton Bradley parted ways from Cleveland a few years ago after a fairly major blow-up in spring training in Kissimmee with Wedge. And here he is back managing him, and their relationship is completely repaired. And it was very bitter for a while.
Well, this is not the first place that Milton Bradley's had trouble with. And you wondered if he was going to run out of places after a while. I mean, clearly this guy is filled with talent. It's just been getting through a whole season with some sort of dust-up not coming up.
I realize that. I mean, he's an intelligent guy. I know when I was in the hospital in 2006, I had more emails from Milton Bradley than anybody else, period. I mean, he's a very complicated guy, and there have been some things that have happened to him, but he's got an amazing heart. It's just, you hope that everything works out for him, and there are people who intensely like him, but just there are these dust-ups and blow-ups, and so hopefully his personal life is all gets straightened out and he's raw, because he's a pretty good player. But one of the things that was really interesting, that Josh Hamilton's great year that he had 2 years ago, Milton Bradley was inseparable. They went everywhere together.
There is strike 3 over the outside corner. Bradley is not like that. It is the 2nd strikeout for Daisuke Matsuzaka. Daisuke with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball grabs that outside corner. That was nasty, running away, and a tough pitch to take.
But he set it up so well by going in, going out, going in, and then coming back out again. Whether whether the K zone is going to show that it's actually a strike or not, he got that strike because of the way he set it up, and Veritek did a great job framing it.
Veritek tried to frame that, but it is outside to Miguel Olivo.
I actually thought that was a better pitch.
Go had a single, reached second on an error. Hit by Darnell McDonald in the first inning. 1-0 is a nasty curveball, misses inside. 2-0. 2 walks, 2 Ks. Dice K through 2 2/3 innings. In there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Let's go with the slider that time. Evo fouls it off to the right. It's 2-2. Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox television network. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. And 2-2. A swing and a miss. Levo strikes out. 3 Ks for Dice K.
That was a great pitch selection. Fastball, little backup curveball, slider, fastball, slider. Really nice piece of pitching.
To the Children's Hospital Boston Trauma Program and the Red Sox Foundation for every strikeout thrown by the Red Sox. Entering tonight's game, Ace Ticket has donated $29,050 so far this season. Thanks to Ace Ticket. And remember to get your Red Sox seats at 1-800-MY-SEATS. Brooke and Ryan here for their first game. Welcome to Fenway Park. And Red Sox certainly happy to be home after a long road trip as Darnell McDonald tries to bunt his way on but fouls it off. It is a 2-1 Seattle lead into the home half of the third inning. Darnell McDonald, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Dustin Pedroia to bat here in the third. Peter Gammon's alongside tonight as Jerry Remy is under the weather again tonight, and glad to have Peter with us for game 1 of the series. The 1 pitch, a swing and a miss, 0-2. Well, the Red Sox trying to get off on the right foot here against the Seattle Mariners and able to get a home run from Mike Cameron. But Red Sox happy to be home. A long road trip with 6-3 on the trip and like to do well here at home.
Well, I thought that what was so important is after they lost that first game, Anderson was so dominant that they really scrapped out 4 wins. And it just, I asked Dustin Pedroia, did that tell you a lot about, okay, this is the personality that this team is going to carry through July and August? He said, absolutely.
Well, they really did rally well against the Angels, but it seemed, Peter, that it was all about the starting pitching, too. It was very, very good. The 1-2 misses in the dirt. It's now 2-2.
No, absolutely. The starting pitching is really good. And having Josh, but even the last game, okay, he didn't win in Baltimore. He was really good. Buck Showalter was saying to me, boy, I mean, that changeup he's got is dynamic. He said all the hitters were talking about it. And getting him back at the top of the rotation again, I don't know. And I may be wrong, but I really get a sense that there is a leadership position that Josh Beckett carries. You know, most pitching staffs don't have a leader per se, but there is something about Josh that he's kind of the guy going up San Juan Hill, you know.
Pitch for ball 3, and it is a full count now to Darnell McDonald. McDonald now, Ellsbury next. Red Sox batting here in the home half of the 3rd inning. 3-2. And a swing and a miss. Changed up, foul tipped it into the catcher's mitt, and it bounced, I think. Greg Gibson, the first base umpire, says it did. Well, clearly bouncing into the glove of Olivo, is getting a piece of it. And the foul tip was McDonald, and they checked, give him credit, and Gibson said it did bounce. We'll take a look. No, maybe it didn't. On second look, the Red Sox get a break.
Yeah, they may have.
If this angle was any better, no, he caught it. So McDonald getting another hack here. Pointed to the ground right away, and Gibson at first base, and did it hit the ground.
Vargas has gone away with that changeup to McDonald twice, really effectively.
3-2 pitch. Try another, and this one misses down low. The Sox fans, come see the Sox battle the Angels next week. Great seats are available throughout the 4-game series, including tickets for $30 or less. Starts with next Monday night's game through Thursday afternoon's game. Don't miss the action as the season starts to heat up. Visit RedSox.com to get your tickets today. The lead runner on for the first time for the Red Sox tonight, and here is Jacoby Ellsbury. Grounded out to first base in the first inning, 0 for 1. They check on McDonald at first base. Ellsbury grounding out in the first inning, and hit on the grass at third is Sean Figgins. Ground ball softly towards second. Kennedy will bobble it. Goes to second for the out of the lead runner. They get McDonald. Had to stop with that ball running right in front of him, and McDonald retired 4-6 on the force out for the first out of the inning as Ellsbury will reach. Kennedy trying to do too much right away. He got Ellsbury running, so he tried to hurry up. Ends up getting the lead runner. I think that's my favorite look at Fenway Park, is that camera from inside the monster looks across second.
That is good. Of course, it's very famous from the '75 World Series, but thanks to a rat that froze the cameraman, we got one of the great shots of all time.
Pitch in there for strike one to Dustin Pedroia. There it is. Milton is blocking it currently. 1 out, 1 on. As Pedroia bats for the second time tonight. He tapped one back to the mound, and Jason Vargas in the first inning. Second guy through now for Vargas, and here's a fly ball to center field for Michael Saunders. Makes the catch for the second out of the inning, and Ellsbury back to the bag at first. Well, you asked, and here it is, Peter. If it does get old.
This is one of those shots, you know, supposedly, I'm no expert on television, that changed television because they froze on the character involved rather than just following the ball. Isolation, thank you, Mr. Ken. But thanks to that huge rat that froze the cameraman, scared to move. It's now safe to be in this.
There are no more rats, is that what you're telling me?
Well, we've spent a day with an afternoon with Andy Sonnenstein of Tampa Bay, in the wall, because he's a cameraman and likes to shoot all this stuff. And he was very glad to know that it's all clean in there now. 2
down in the inning. Jacoby Ellsbury at first, and Adrian Gonzalez standing in as Vargas steps off, looks Ellsbury back. Well, there have been a great many improvements here at Fenway Park, Peter, and they always look like they've always been here. It seems like every year and now they're done doing them. There have been several installments over the years, but the monster seats now here, the wider concourses, but really very pretty place right now.
The vision that particularly Janet Marie Smith had, but when this ownership came in, I mean, things like there used to be that ugly wall that blocked Fenway Park off from the rest of the city. That was the first thing they tore down because it made Fenway Park more part of the city. Mark Grace actually wanted to buy season tickets in the monster seats. He's told they can't do that, but when I asked him why, he said, just so I can say I have season tickets in the monster seats. I'm not going to come there all year.
40th pitch for Vargas, and it's a ground ball up the middle and into center field. Touching second is Ellsbury, ahead for third with no problem. And Adrian Gonzalez is 2 for 2, and he really is starting to heat it up. Can't get that much of the plate for Adrian Gonzalez. He was down, but he was down to get it. Sends it back up the middle.
His hands are so loose. I mean, see those great hitters, the Rod Carews and again Gonzalez. I mean, it looks like they're just flipping a baton.
First and third, 2 down, and Kevin Euclid stands in on the right side. You place Robinson Cano in that area?
Absolutely.
Euclid struck out in the first inning, the only strikeout for Jason Vargas. Line to left, Bradley coming in, it'll fall in front of him and off him. From third base comes Ellsbury to tie the game. Euclid with an RBI single, and we're tied at 2. This was a hot shot that eats up Bradley and left. A tough hop that jumped up right into him. Euclid picks up his 15th RBI, and the game is tied. Tough spot for Bradley. Wasn't sure whether to come forward or to back off. Didn't have a lot of time to react because it was hit so hard, and then it eats him up.
Euclid was kidding before the game. He's forgotten how to hit singles.
Well, he's got one now. He stands at first base. With David Ortiz standing in. You had mentioned you sat down with David. Did you get the sense that he was nervous about the way this season would begin after the last 2 years and how slowly he had to work so hard to get back to where he normally is, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs?
No, that was one thing that surprised me. That he didn't seem edgy about it at all. He seemed very confident in the knowledge of what he needed to do to be what he had always been. And that's not to say he's going to hit 54 home runs again, but he knows driving the ball the other way, laying off balls that he couldn't hit. And that's exactly what Tito was talking about.
Well, his splits 370 against left-handers. 1-1 misses, and it's ball 2. Rounded out against this particular left-hander in the second inning. Vargas had a 2-0 lead. It's tied 2-2 now. Adrian Gonzalez at third base. Kevin Euclid crossed the diamond at first base. 2 outs in the inning. Chopped right side into the shift and by it. Kennedy moved over to his right. It gets through him. And from third comes Gonzalez to give the Red Sox a 3-2 lead. Euclid will take third base as Ortiz is aboard and the Red Sox take the lead. Well, the shift on, Ortiz chops one, but Kennedy can't get there as he dives, and it is by him from his second base spot. Had to go a long way and cannot get it.
Looked like Kennedy was fooled a little bit because his first he sort of made a half break back towards first base as if he thought he was going to pull it through the hole.
And look at his reaction. You're right, he is heading towards first base. Drifting over that direction, had to change direction late.
it could well have been that he was anticipating that Vargas was going to get the ball in a little bit more, and it went out and ran back over the plate a little bit more than he thought it was going to.
Trying to cheat a little bit in that direction. So 2 down. David Ortiz got a single and an RBI, his 11th RBI of the year, and the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead. Here's Jed Lowry, who flied out to center field in the second inning. Takes strike one. Jed hitting it only .393 now. He's cooled off a little bit. It has been an incredible start to his season. Really forced the hand of Terry Francona to play him every day. It's where he wanted to be. Made no bones about it. Here's a pop-up into shallow right. We'll see what the wind does with this. Out as Kennedy is Ichiro, and Ichiro able to make the catch that ends the inning. The Red Sox score 2 runs and take a 3-2 lead. Randy Scott for Nesson Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial. Have a full preview of the Bruins gear up for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals with the Flyers tomorrow in Philadelphia. Plus a break down the Patriots picks from Day 2 of the NFL Draft. All this and much more on Nesson Daily tonight following our Red Sox coverage, and it's only on Nesson. We head to the top half of the 4th inning. 3-2. Red Sox on top of the Mariners. Justin Smoke leading it off. Smoke is in on the left side, and Steamer is in for us. Great to see Bob Stanley.
Nice to see you guys.
It's great to see
you.
you,
A long time.
Bob Stanley here tonight at Fenway Park. And Bob, we were talking about some of your work with some of the San Francisco Giants a little bit earlier, and some of the guys who were able to win the World Series last year.
Yeah, it was pretty good feeling. I had Matt Cain, and I had Brian Wilson, Romo, and Sanchez. It was good to see him win.
You didn't make Wilson as eccentric as he is now, did you?
No, he was always a fruitcake as it was.
Well, you've been a pitching coach several places. I mean, that's something you like to do once again?
No, I'm very happy what I'm doing now. I'm doing pitching lessons up in Newington, New Hampshire, USA Training Centers, and I'm also president of the USA Maverick College team and the Futures League that we just started out.
One down here in the inning is Jack Cust with a swing and a miss. Look back over the course of your career. What were some of your favorite memories here from Fenway Park and pitching here?
Well, it was a dream come true. I grew up in New Jersey, but I was born in Maine, but I was always a Red Sox fan. And I'll never forget Bob Montgomery told me when I was coming in on the bus, he goes, if you ever get lost in Boston, just look for the Citgo sign. Well, that was a wrong thing to say. Because one time you'll see it, and then you take a right, and you're down a one-way street, and you can't find the sign. But no, it was a great place to play, and it was a dream come true.
And when you were pitching, I mean, there was so much passion in the 78 season when, okay, you lost the lead, but then you came back from behind for 3.5 down with 8 games to go. And that had to be one of the most passionate seasons you ever went through, wasn't it?
It was, and it was kind of like this team this year. They were picked to win. I think we were picked to win in 78 because we had such a great lineup. And we got off to a slow start, but we turned it on at the end. And, 78 was very exciting. It just, I wish we had the wild card back then. We would have made it every year.
A lot of players after the championship in 2004 talked about a lot of the players who were unable to win world championships. And a lot of those players said, well, they took enjoyment even though they didn't win personal world championships with the 04 championship. Did you take any enjoyment at all, the 04 championship?
Absolutely. I was in my TV room watching it, and it was outstanding. I was saying, great, they won. They're going to forget about 86, but they haven't.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Jack Cust. 1 out here in the 4th inning. Bob Stanley joining us here at Fenway Park as Red Sox returning home for this homestand, and Cust fouls it off. We were just talking about all the changes here in the ballpark. How often do you get back to Fenway?
I haven't been back. The last time I was here was I gave Papelbon the old bullpen phone when he broke my record, and that was the last time I was here.
Well, of course, one of your teammates who is normally in this chair here, Jerry Remy, who does not have a great deal of patience. Told me the one time he went fishing with you. It was the only time he's ever fished in his life. And I'm thinking to myself what that was like, because I can't imagine him fishing at all.
Well, he didn't really fish. He did all the rowing. We were up in Lake Fairley, Vermont, where and Rems wasn't really didn't want people to know who he was. He says, well, we're up in Fairley, Vermont. We're not going to know. No one's going to know us. We went to this little convenience store where you could have bought a gun. And they said, hey, you're Jerry Remy and Bob Stanley. And after that, Rems was going, I ain't going downtown anymore. So, yeah, he did most of the rowing. I did the fishing. We didn't catch anything. But
well, I think that was part of the problem, because I like to fish. And I would say, Jerry, you want to go fishing? You want to do this, do that? No. I said, I went once and caught no fish from Bob Stanley.
Yeah, he was rowing. He was rowing. That was it.
He didn't even fish.
No.
Now they get to the bottom of that. 3-2 the count here to Jack Cust. And there's ball 4. Cust will head down to first base with 1 out here in the 4th inning. When you think back to some of the years, did you have a favorite season in a Red Sox uniform so long here with the Red Sox?
Well, 1978 was pretty good. They nicknamed me the Vulture because I'd come in with the game tie, give up a blue pit, especially with Tion pitching, and they tie it up, and then we had such a potent lineup. We'd score 5, and I'd get the win. So Tion said to Zimmer one time, he says, listen, if I see Bob Stanley or Bill Campbell warming up, you better bring security because I'm not coming out of the game. But 79 was a good year, too. I started, and I wasn't really a starter, but I tricked them for half of the year, Peter.
Well, but you used, as a reliever, it was very different then. You weren't a specialist to pitch 1 inning or just the 8th inning. You used to come in 3rd inning, 5th inning.
I had a couple 10-inning stints in my career in relief, and then a couple days off and pitch 5 more. So, but I love to do it. So it was, I'd rather relieve than start, because if you messed up as a starter, you had to wait 5 days. At least you can redeem yourself the next day.
2-0 the count here to Adam Kennedy. As I was thinking, going to Red Sox games and watching in the bullpen, there are a great many beach balls that aren't around any longer, and guys really haven't crushed him as much as you did at one time. But you really, with the rake, you're pretty tough out there.
I was good at that. Yeah. I mean, not most people remember me for my beach balls. So.
Yes.
But
not so much the pitching ones, but I'm talking about the ones in the pen.
Yeah, the ones that came into the bullpen, I really did a pretty good job with those.
3-0 pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. You worked in a couple of different farm systems as a pitching coach. Was that something you enjoyed, working with young pitchers? And was it something when a guy gets to the majors and did what some of the Giants did last year, it had to feel very good?
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, I had A.J. Burnett with the Yankees now. He was with the Mets. He was a project, but he really, we really became, had a good relationship pitching-wise. And he's turned out to be pretty good. And yeah, I just love watching these guys pitch. I mean, Matt Palmer pitched the other night for you guys, against you guys, and he didn't fare too good in the first inning, but that was his MO. If he got out of the first inning, he was pretty good. So, and he's a 31-year-old second-year guy. So I always loved Matt Palmer.
Did AJ have all the tattoos then?
No, he didn't even have the nipple earrings, so we were all set there.
Runner goes in the 3-2, and it is ball 4 down low to Adam Kennedy. So 1 out and 2 on. Bob Stanley, it was great to catch up with you. Thank you for stopping by. And,
no problem.
Good to see you.
Yep. Good luck to you guys. Peter,
thanks a lot, Bob. Great to see you.
All right.
Bob Stanley joining us here in the booth. The Steamers, the Red Sox and Mariners in the 4th inning with 1 out and 2 on. And Kurt Young headed out to talk to Daisuke. Daisuke had walked 1 batter through the first 3 innings. He walks back-to-back batters here. And Jack Custa and Adam Kennedy. Well, on this week's all-new Ultimate Red Sox show with Heidi Watney, presented by Arbella Insurance, Peter Gammon sits down with Josh Beckett. We remember Roger Clemens' 20K game 25 years later and much more. It's the Ultimate Red Sox show this Sunday at noon.
Yeah, Daisuke, as we talked, became a little unraveled, to say the least. Up and out of the strike zone, looked like he was overthrowing a little bit.
He has walked back-to-back batters in Cust and Kennedy. 1 out, 2 on for Michael Saunders. This one bounces in, and Veritek able to knock it down. A slider that he uncorked here. And Veritek sliding to his right to block it. Wind has shifted and blowing in at the moment here at Fenway Park. The reason I know is because my papers are all over the booth. I can confirm this. 1-0. Saunders on a check swing foul. And the Red Sox collecting 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka did have a 17-minute wait. Got the first out of this inning, getting Justin Smoke to fly out to center, but back-to-back walks of Cust and Kennedy. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. We'll talk to. Get a look at this pitch first. Fastball this time from Daisuke at 92. We talked to Bob Stanley about his favorite memories. What were your favorite memories of Bob Stanley in his long career with the Red Sox?
That every day he was willing to come to the ballpark and pitch X amount of innings. I mean, he would go. You just don't find relievers that can eat up innings like that.
Daisuke able to strike out Saunders.
Pretty good comeback with a real good fastball, 92 miles an hour with life on it, and then the changeup. But Bob Stanley, I mean, today to have someone that could go throw 140 innings as a relief pitcher and be good at it would save a staff so much. I mean, it sometimes drives me crazy when they have 12-man pitching staffs, because it means it limits the bench so much that if you don't have guys who can play 4 or 5 positions, then you really have no bench at all. And Stanley allowed, Ralph Houck used to say, he makes my life as a manager about 30% easier just because he's always there.
Ryan will send one to left. McDonald goes back a step, and he'll make the catch. Daisuke works his way around 2 walks in the inning. 3.5 done, 3-2 Red Sox.
On top of the Mariners, move on here to the bottom of the 4th inning. Mike Cameron, who got the scoring started for the Red Sox with a solo home run in the 2nd inning. Takes strike 1 from Jason Vargas. Home run for Cameron, his first of 2011. 50th pitch coming up for Vargas. We got the impression watching Cameron move around during the spring, and he came off major surgery at the end of last year. We really didn't see the real Mike Cameron here last year.
No, not at all. Once he had that abdominal problem, he was not the same guy.
High drive to left for Cameron. He may have done it again. He has. Home run for Mike Cameron, his 2nd of the night. One down the right field line, the other into the monster seats, and the Red Sox lead it 4-2. No home runs coming into tonight's game. He's got 2.
Well, Vargas kept going away, hit the home run on the ball away. They came in with the first 2 pitches as his bat away. Change up, fastball, and then throws change up. Then he can hook, and he does.
We're going to go back to September of 2009 for his last 2 home run game. 2 solo blasts from Mike Cameron in the game tonight. The Red Sox have a 4-2 lead. Playing time has been tough to come by. Yes, he takes strike 1, does Jason Varitek. And look at that pitch. Change down low. Provides his own power. 16th career multi-home run game for Mike Cameron.
Well, historically, he has pounded left-handed pitching. Put up over the 5 years previous to coming to Boston, his OPS was way above league average at .953, which really puts him into almost an elite category. And he was hurt last year, didn't get a chance to show it, but that's something he's done throughout his career, and that's one of the reasons you take Darnell McDonald and Lowry, who's always killed left-handed pitching, and you figure, well, this team isn't going to be hurt as much by being so heavily left-handed.
Varitek back up the middle into center field, well placed, just out of the reach of Vargas, and Jason Varitek is aboard. Well, Mike Cameron, the guy who hit 4 home runs in a game one time, has 2 home runs here tonight for the Red Sox. Both solo shots, got to feel good. And the other thing is, Peter, just not used to not playing every day. He's done that his entire career.
That's right. That's very difficult to do. I think he's accepted it because he understands where he is in his career at his age. But somebody's saying, well, how good a player was he? When he was named to the All-Star team that year when the All-Star game was in Seattle, that was a huge deal. People in Seattle loved him so much. Of course, he was traded for Ken Griffey, but I mean, he was beloved. When they announced it, he got announced before that game. He got like an 8-minute standing ovation. It was really a wonderful thing. Plus, he's such a great guy and was so much a part of the community there.
A very good outfielder for a very long time. And, you watched all the signings during the offseason. Carl Crawford coming to Boston. Probably kind of figured, where do I fit in this equation? Just hope he did. And he was happy. I guess if you're going to be a role player, I guess this is the team to be a role player on right now.
Well, I know Darnell McDonald has said all along that he feels like Cammy is his uncle. He brings that joy and energy to the park every day. There's no complaining about not being in the starting lineup.
Well, strikes out. It is the 2nd strikeout for Vargas. 1 out here in the 4th inning. A curveball. Swinging over the top of it was Darnell McDonald. Here is the top of the Red Sox order. Jacoby Ellsbury grounded out in the 1st, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd, 0 for 2 in the ball game tonight. That's Jason Varitek at first base, 1 down. The Mariners infield at double play depth. Ellsbury showing bunt. He had to get the bat out of the way and then get himself out of the way.
Clearly he's listening to us.
This is for ball 2, and it's time now for tonight's AT&T trivia question. Our question is, on this day, who was the only Mariner, as Roger Clemens in his 20K game, that did not strike out? And the answer for it a little bit later. 2-0. Is up the middle, off the mound, and off of Kennedy. Everybody will be safe. Looked like it may help out there for a moment. It kicked off the mound, but Kennedy can't do anything with it, and it's a base hit. First of the night for Ellsbury as Varitek takes second. Like hitting the mound, that it may slow it down. It was a pretty good shot back, but Kennedy can't do anything with it. Back of the bag at second. And Varitek's able to get to second. Ellsbury reaches at first.
Jacoby did a good job in that bat. He came up and in, then went, tried to throw it on the outside corner, tried to go away and run it a little bit harder, and Jacoby stayed on that and drove it up the middle. Just a very simple swing.
1 out, 2 on here for the Red Sox in the 4th inning. And Dustin Pedroia getting settled in. Grounded out in the 1st, flied out in the 3rd. And there for strike 1 to Pedroia. Up high, 1-1 to Pedroia. Vargas up to 64 pitches, working here with 1 out in the 4th inning. Up a home run to Mike Cameron to start this, the 4th inning. Since then, a couple of singles and mixed in a strikeout. Now 1-1 to Pedroia. Down low, Pedroia swinging over the top of it. Another changeup, which has been good for Vargas. Struck out McDonald with it, and gets Pedroia to swing at this.
Well, they got Pedroia to swing at the changeup, fly out to center field. I think the surprise was the first 2 pitches of this at bat, he came in, fastballs in on him, but the inevitable changeup away.
Jason Varitek at second base, Jacoby Ellsbury at first base. Pedroia hooks it foul. Covidien, a global healthcare products company, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. 1 out in the 4th inning, 2 on. And Dustin Pedroia in a battle here with Jason Vargas, and Pedroia down 1-2. Pedroia jumping back as he misses inside, 2-2. There's Adrian Gonzalez waiting on deck. On the ground towards short. Ryan will tag Varitek and fire to first for the out. Nice play by Brendan Ryan. Varitek running in front of him. He turns it into a double play. That ends the inning. 4-2. Red Sox on top. Mike Cameron has gone deep twice. Once to right, once to the monster seat. Sox on top by 2.
Gonzalez to help local families by donating $1,000 for every home run Adrian hits this season to select Habitat for Humanity affiliates in eastern Massachusetts. Well, there's a 4-2 advantage for the Red Sox, and some question as to whether or not Jason Varitek was tagged in the front end of that double play. Terry Francona was out to argue, and Varitek right away signaling that he was not tagged out. Tough to tell whether he was or he wasn't. Certainly in the neighborhood there was the shortstop Ryan, but on the swipe whether or not he got him.
Well, Jason clearly didn't think he was tagged. Once the sign was made by the third base umpire, he was wagging his no. He didn't get me, so.
There is Ichiro to lead it off for the Mariners. Ichiro has flied out to left field on 2 occasions, both time Darnell McDonald out there up to the task. It always amazed me in watching Ichiro that he always appears to be on the move. Even though he is incredibly balanced, it does not appear that way. He's ready with the pitch. It's Daisuke 2-0. Ball 3-0.
A little bit of a concern here that 3 of the last 5 batters he's gone 3-0 on.
With 1 out, he walked both Cust and Kennedy in the 4th inning. There's a strike, 3-1. So difficult to figure out, though. The level of success, you mentioned the 33 wins he had in the 18-3 season. He goes through the injury trouble, and then the last couple of years have been very inconsistent. Started off this year very rocky, very tough spring training. This one is into center field. Ichiro comes back at a 3-1 pitch to single into center. Let's check in with Heidi.
Well, Don, as a part of the Red Sox 100th anniversary celebration, the team is giving fans the opportunity to make their mark literally here at Fenway Park. Fans can purchase a brick in one of 2 sizes, 4x8 and 8x8, and put their personal message on it. Each brick is going to be placed in the Fenway Park concourse area inside gates B and gate C. Now, each purchase also includes a complimentary brick that you can take home and display for yourself, just like this one here. Here's the 4x8, and the 8x8 is a little bit heavier right there. For more information, go to redsox.com/bricks. The bricks are $250 for the smaller one and $475 for the larger one. It will be placed inside the concourse, inside gates B and gate C. Don?
All right, Heidi, thank you very much. A bit of concern here for Daisuke Matsuzaka after that last base hit into center field. Terry Francona and the training staff, led by Greg Barajas, running to the mound. They are checking on Daisuke Matsuzaka, and he may be coming out of this game. Let's see as Terry Francona's headed back to the dugout to consult with Kurt Young. He may be figuring out who to bring in. They've not seen anything prior to this, as Daisuke is walking off the hill. That'll do it. To the trouble he's had over the last couple innings, the 2 walks in the 4th inning, but visibly we didn't see anything. We'll have to take a look at this last delivery in which Ichiro takes it back up the middle into center field, and what takes place afterwards. And as we watch it along with you, not a lot going on there.
No, it wasn't like he grabbed his elbow or shook his arm.
Varitek went out, and it might have been Varitek who called them out.
But the first sign of injury is usually lack of command. It's not velocity, it's command.
Well, it'll be Matt Albers who comes into this game. Will be given as long as he needs to get ready. We'll step aside with the Red Sox on top 4-2.
live on stage at MGM Grand at Foxwoods on May 13th and 14th at 8 p.m. For tickets, visit foxwoods.com or call 866-646-0609 or Ticketmaster.
4-2, Red Sox on top of the Seattle Mariners. We're in the midst of the top half of the 5th inning, and Daisuke Matsuzaka's had to lead this game. His call to the bullpen is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. Matt Albers is into the game. Last pitched on the 26th at Baltimore. Game 1 of that series, win an inning, walk and a strikeout. Tonight marks his 5th appearance of the year. No record, a 2.25 ERA. He's logged 4 innings and, of course, spent time on the disabled list. Made 2 appearances since coming off the 15-day DL on the 21st of April. Went on with a lat strain. Allowed 1 hit over 3 innings, scored 3 scoreless innings before going on the DL for the first time. And now back activated again. And here he is in relief of Daisuke Matsuzaka. Leaves the game after 4+ innings. And we'll check out the pitching line for Daisuke tonight. The pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 3 hits and 2 runs, one of them earned. He would walk 4 and strike out 4. And for Daisuke Matsuzaka, not eligible to grab the victory here tonight. Doesn't go the minimum eligible of 5 innings. And moreover, concern over what is wrong with Daisuke. We really couldn't see anything, and we watched replay a few times after the base hit by Ichiro, which is the end of his night. And Terry Francona, led by trainer Greg Barajas, out there to check on him. And we will take a look at it one more time. And Daisuke giving up the base hit and didn't have everything wrong. Veritek came out, and I think it was Veritek who called for Terry Francona to come out once they had talked on the mound. And it was Veritek who arrived on the scene that would go to the dugout to get Terry Francona and help. Well, we have time for a game break here. Let's check in with Tom Caron for the game break. TC? Okay, Tom, thanks very much. I guess, Peter, anytime a guy hits 54 home runs, you wonder if he can follow it up. But
that was one of the conversations we had in the dugout this afternoon is, why do they keep pitching him inside? He's got unbelievable bat speed. He looks for the ball in. He pounds the ball in. You saw it right there. They came back in on him. I think it's time to maybe change some game plan on Jose Bautista. He's not in Altoona anymore.
Sean Figgins stands in, and first batter to face Matt Albers in here after the injury to Daisuke Matsuzaka. Figgins walked in the first inning, came around to score, and then grounded out to second base in the third. Ichiro at first base with a good-sized lead held on by Gonzalez. Albers will check on him as he noticed. I realize that as soon as I read this stat that I am placed in a possible jinx scenario. I'll give it to you in a moment. The 1-0 from Albers. There goes Ichiro. Here's a line drive into left field for a base hit. Ichiro will stop at second base. Sean Figgins aboard. And it's first and second with nobody out. It's from Albers to Figgins, who jumps on it. The stat I was going to read, Peter, is that Matt Albers is not allowed a home run over a career-long 40 games spanning 52 innings. So it's a great stat, but it may be bad timing.
It could be, yes.
You have some big guys coming up here. Milton Bradley. The runners at first and second, nobody out. Ground ball to first base. Gonzalez goes to second for 1. Back to first, it's thrown away and into the Red Sox dugout. Ichiro will score, and it's a 1-run game. As Suzuki comes around, they do get Figgins at second base.
I want to see the replay on where that went by Matt Albers' glove.
Probably should have caught it.
Yep.
Gets over there, and the throw is a little bit low, but unable to come away with it. And you see as Lowry clears the runner, Figgins coming after him, but he gets around him. And Albers unable to make the catch into the dugout. It is an error charge to Lowry. Actually, they have changed it. It was an error charge to Albers, so I think that's the correct call.
Yes, I agree. Would be a pass ball if he was the catcher.
No RBI on the play, but it is a one-run game now. Bradley stands at second base. This is the second Red Sox miscue of the night, and the second one that has led to a run. Darnell McDonald back in the first inning, charged with an error. Now Miguel Olivo takes ball one. Olivo getting a single to left off the scoreboard in left field. That's when Darnell McDonald bobbled it out there in left, and he was able to take second base and charge Darnell with an error. Pickoff play at second, and cutting in was Pedroia. Almost threw it away. Roy seeing daylight, and almost got away from him, but back to the bag at second is Bradley. So that run is charged to Daisuke Matsuzaka. 1-1. I don't think he went. They check. He did. Greg Gibson. It's 1-2. A late punch at it by Miguel Olivo. Closer than I thought, but Gibson said he went. Down and away, and it's 2-2. Slider running away for Albers. Olivo now, Smoke next. 4 or 5 hitters here for the Mariners batting with a tying run in scoring position. And one out here in the top half of the 5th. Olivo hits one to right. Mike Cameron circling out there in right field. It's under it, makes the catch. No advance for Bradley. And there's 2 down in the inning. It's time now for the answer to tonight's AT&T trivia question. The question tonight: who's the only Mariner to face Roger Clemens in his 20 strikeout game that did not strike out? And the answer is Al Cowens. 0-for-1 with a flyout. He had 1 at bat in the game as a pinch hitter. In the 8th inning, it flew out to center field. Clemens had at least 1 K against all of the other 9 batters he faced, and got 4 batters at least 3 times. Today, of course, marks the 25th anniversary of Clemens' first of 2 20 strikeout games. There's ball 1 to Justin Smoke. Singled in the first, flied out to center in the 4th inning. Think about the deal that the Cliff Lee situation, Smoke going from Texas, what kind of player he would have been in that lineup with the Rangers maybe at one point.
I know he's a very patient hitter, always was. When he was in South Carolina, to me, he was one of the best college hitters I ever saw. And he started a little bit slowly with Seattle. Seattle's a tough place to hit. But in that lineup, but scoring runs is not going to be the Rangers' problem. So scoring runs is Mariners' problem. It was interesting because they thought that Lee was going to go to the Yankees in a deal and Jesus Montero was going to Seattle. But this makes more sense than Jesus Montero because he's a prime defensive player as well.
Jason Varitek out to talk to Albers. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Justin Smoke here with 2 down in the inning.
It is amazing when you watch Justin Smoke. Go back and watch some Chipper Jones video. It's exactly, he obviously copied him growing up in South Carolina, watching him on TBS all the time. It is amazing. Mannerisms, stance, both sides of the plate.
We're talking about all the kids that have grown up in the Atlanta area and down in that general area that have copied.
I once told her, I told Chipper about how he copied everything. when he played in the Super Regionals. Chipper called Smoke to wish him luck.
Strike three. Albers strikes out Smoke. Gets out of any further trouble. The Mariners get back within one. It's 4-3 Red Sox. For your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit RedSox.com for details. 21-minute wait for Jason Vargas as he works here in the 5th inning. Of course, Daisuke Matsuzaka left, and Albers was given as long as he needed with the injury to warm up as long as he needed. As soon as we get word on Daisuke Matsuzaka, we'll pass it along. Adrian Gonzalez leading it off here in the 5th. Were you amazed at the time, and I know you and I have talked about this a lot during the winter Red Sox Hot Stove Live, but the Red Sox didn't have to give up a starter, a position player, anybody that affected their major league roster to get the likes of Adrian Gonzalez.
Well, it speaks volumes about their farm system to start with. They did have 3 guys that they really wanted, so that helps. And it did help that Jason McLeod was the scouting director who drafted all those 3 players. But I think in the way San Diego is looking at it, you got a guy with 2 or 3 years experience who's going to be gone when they get good. So go ahead and get all minor leaguers and build it up. It was a little bit like when Cleveland traded Bartolo Colon and got Sizemore, Brandon Phillips, and Cliff Lee, all minor leaguers.
On the ground right side, moving his Smoke to get it. He's got to wait for Vargas to cover and throw a little bit behind him. Vargas with some fancy footwork. And cross over and tag the bag ahead of Gonzalez, and they get the job done. With Adrian running, who does not run terribly well, they had a chance to make that play because Smoke had to go a long way towards second base. First baseman gathered himself and waited for Vargas to arrive, and that throw a little bit behind him, almost colliding with Gonzalez at the bag. So 1 out here in the 5th inning. I guess it's always a risk when you take possible prospects, but I guess it's less of a risk if you're the guy that drafted them.
Yeah,
you felt good about him one time.
Well, Jason did actually say to me at the time that he thought Anthony Rizzo had the best makeup of any player he'd ever drafted. He is hitting over 400 in the Pacific Coast League too, but that's like one of those, okay, what is it in actual real average, you know? Pacific Coast League is such an offensive league.
Kevin Youkilis batting with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Youkilis struck out in the 1st, who singled in the 3rd.
Nicholas with that base hit average at .216 at the moment. 5 homers, 15 runs batted in. Nicholas did not have a great spring training, and he wondered whether or not that thumb was a problem. What was different? So far, the power numbers are good, but the average has been down for you.
It has been. He keeps saying he's fine physically, so we believe him, but
still getting a lot of walks per usual and getting on base. 3-1 will be ball 4. And there's another walk. This the second walk given up by Vargas tonight. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Eastern Bank. Commitment, compassion, and love of the game. These are just some of the things Eastern Bank is made of. Find out what we're made of at easternbank.com. 1 out, 1 on here in the last of the 5th inning for David Ortiz. Grounded out in the 2nd inning. Single to drive in a run in the 3rd. Take strike 1. What do you think the future holds for David Ortiz beyond this year? Will it be here?
I don't think there's any way of knowing. It just depends on what kind of year Ortiz has, who else is on the market. As we found out clearly this winter with Vladimir Guerrero and Manny Ramirez and other DHs, the value of DHs on the market is very different than it was 5 years ago. I mean, it's monetarily, it's just not there.
Kind of regardless of what he does this year, he's not going to make the same amount of money next year that he made this year, most likely.
Right. The question is, can he make more here than anywhere else?
This is lined to first. Smoke will turn it into a double play. Hot shot right at the first baseman, who makes the catch and then tags out Euclid, and it ends the 5th through 5, 4-3 Red Sox. Hospital, the Boston Red Sox is asking, what do you know about keeping bones and joints strong? Step up to the plate and take their 9-inning quiz at bidmc.org/healthyis. Top half of the 6th inning, and it is Jack Cust leads it off against Matt Albers. And double play turned against the Red Sox to end the last half of the 5th inning, and a hot shot to Justin Smoak off the bat of Ortiz, hooking. So made the grab and quickly got to the bag. Nothing Euclid could do. And 2 quick outs to end last inning.
Well, Smoak made 2 good plays in that inning.
Ranging to his right, the first out of the inning, able to retire Gonzalez, and then turning the double play unassisted. Jack Cust struck out and walked in 2 plate appearances against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Gets his first look at Matt Albers. His lead on the 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 1-2. Red Sox certainly saw their fair share of Matt Albers in an Orioles uniform. It seemed like he pitched every time we were there. It's pitching well so far for the Red Sox this season. Spent some time in the DL. Veritek thought it was strike 3, but it's 2-2.
Pretty close.
It would be a slider from Albers. And it was pretty close, real close.
I think that was called by where it ended up, not where it crossed the plate.
This one too far inside, and it is a full count. Albers with Major League time, also with the Houston Astros. Of course, part of the Tejada deal that brought him to the Orioles. Along with Luke Scott, Dennis Sarfati. 3-2. There's ball 4. A couple of close pitches in the sequence, but Jack Cust works the walk to begin things here in the 6th inning. The fastball from Albers, and we'll see where it ends up. Another pitch. It could have been called a strike.
Yeah, I agree.
So at least 2 in that sequence, and Sam Holbrook calling the both balls. A walk for Cust, and here's Adam Kennedy. Kennedy flied out to right in the 2nd inning and walked in the 4th inning. Lines one foul.
And Albers' fastball does have a lot of life. I mean, it has life down in the zone. He's had good life. I thought that last pitch had great life. The one that got called ball 4.
Well, he went multiple innings a lot of times in an Orioles uniform. This is just the first time in a Red Sox uniform that he's pitched beyond 1 inning. Kennedy sends it foul down the left field line and is down 0-2. There is action behind Albers. Hideki Okajima warming in the pen. Kennedy gets jammed and pops it up. Lowry on the dirt of the infield makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Let's check back in with Heidi.
Don, the Red Sox had a special visitor today. Tyrone Farrell-Kimball got to come onto the field for batting practice and meet David Ortiz, as you can see. This was his wish from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He also threw out the first pitch at tonight's game. Tyrone is 14 years old and from nearby Belmont, Massachusetts. He suffers from a life-threatening kidney disease. I got a chance to meet Tyrone and his family before the game. He was a little nervous about the first pitch, but he did a great job, and David Ortiz was really gracious in meeting him today. Don.
All right, thanks very much, Heidi. Make-A-Wish Foundation, an incredible organization. Threw out the first pitch here today, and it's a good-looking first pitch. Well, congratulations to him here at the field today, and David Ortiz, so great at that, and he's been such a big part of this Boston community the entire time David has been here. Continues to do so as this pitch is outside, 1-1. Michael Saunders walked in the 2nd inning, struck out swinging in the 4th. Check on Cust, who gets back to the bag standing.
He caught Cust leaning towards that. What's he thinking about?
You don't think he's going?
Nah. Unless he thought it was the last train out of Kenmore Station.
Outside ball 2. He has 6 career stolen bases. 12 attempts in his entire career. Maybe he's trying to time him. 2-1 pitch to Saunders. Down low, 3-1. Devers walking Cuss to begin the inning. At Kennedy to pop out. 1 on, 1 out. Turning on deck is Brendan Ryan. Mariners trail by a run as they bat here in the 6th inning. There's a strike, full count. And the Mariners have headed in a couple of different directions over the years. Do you like the direction they're headed in right now?
I think so, because I think they really understand. They've got the 2 big pitchers in Hernandez and Pineda. They think they have another one in Jimmy Paxton that they signed this spring out of the University of Kentucky, who's got a big power arm. Start to build with the pitching, and they're going to have those front 2 guys. I mean, look what the Angels have done with 2 great starters. And then start to build in. I mean, they have Smoke. They've got their farm system is just about to start developing, and the crowds will come back. It's a great city and a huge TV market, as you know. They have a tremendous amount of a tremendous television deal there. So. They just had years where they drafted Jeff Clement instead of either Troy Tulowitzki or Ryan Braun. Oh, thank you. I mean,
3-2 is in the air to right field. Mike Cameron makes his way in. And there's 2 down in the 6th inning.
They essentially had 5 years where they had a pick in the top 10 and got nothing out of it. They took Brandon Morrow, which was a great idea. The only problem is they made him a reliever. Well, now ask John Fowler. He thinks he's going to be a #1 starter in the big leagues. A starter, not reliever.
2 down, Jack Cust at first base. Brendan Ryan, the batter. He's popped out to third, flied out to left. And there for strike 1. You're right, though. It's got to be a very difficult place to hit. All you have to do is look at the numbers of Adrian Beltre over the years there in Seattle and what he did here in 1 year in Boston.
Absolutely. And people would say to me, well, he did it in his walk year. Well, he did it. What did he do in his walk year in Seattle?
So on the ground towards shortstop, Lowry will go the easy way to second for the force out. It wraps up the top of the 6th inning. 5.5 done from Fenway. Red Sox on top 4-3. revolutionary waterborne stain that outperforms the best oil-based stains on the market. Find Arbor Coat at your local Benjamin Moore retailer. Last half of the 6th inning back at Fenway Park. Red Sox on top by a run as Jed Lowry leads it off. Lowry, Cameron, and Varitek. Lowry 0 for 2 in the game. Flight out to center in the second, flight out to right in the third. Grounds one to third base this time. Sean Figgins crossed the diamond for out number 1 here in the 6th inning. Time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Mike Cameron's got 2 home runs in the game. One down the right field line and around the pole. And the other to the monster seats. Didn't have a home run coming in it tonight, but he's got 2 solo shots. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frostproof Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 1 out in the 6th inning. This one tap foul. We talked about the surgery that Mike Cameron had. Amazing how much pain he played with before he finished up the season and wrapped it up. Just excruciating. And you saw Mike Cameron in the outfield. He was a very good outfielder. Make some bad breaks and just didn't look right.
Remember, he had that terrible collision in New York. And
yes.
It's just I remember a couple of his teammates saying to me, you know, he's almost too tough for his own good. And he's so fearless.
Wind has shifted again, blowing in as Cameron with a swing and a miss. He's down 1-2. It's been a swirling wind here tonight at Fenway Park. Red Sox holding on to a 1-run advantage. Cameron takes a pitch in the dirt. The count evens at 2-2. Jason Vargas hanging in there as he works here into the 6th inning. Pitch number 88 for the left-hander is in the dirt. Full count.
Well, Vargas sticks to it. You know, he fastball away, change up. One fastball in, a little off the plate.
There's a pop-up around first base. Smoke backpedaling. Kennedy takes over and makes the catch in fair ground for the second out here of the 6th inning. First time tonight that Vargas has found a way to get Mike Cameron out. New action in the pen, it is Bobby Jenks. Red Sox getting 2 innings of relief from Matt Albers. And Jenks warming in the pen currently. As we get into that 7th inning area, there you go, Jenks, Bard, and possibly Papelbon. 2 outs here in the 6th. Jason Varitek, the batter. I know you know Daniel Bard very well. What do you see with him so far this year? So unusual to have some struggles at times this year. He has 3 losses that he's been tagged with very early in the year.
Well, he got his arm down a little bit early. His first appearance, it got better in the second appearance. And actually, I thought the other night, his stuff was very good. I mean, Vladimir dumped the ball up the middle, but his fastball I thought was so alive. It was hard for Varitek to catch him at time, a couple of pitches, but.
There's a strike to Varitek, and it is 1-2 as he asked Sam Holbrook, home plate umpire. That might have been up.
Plus, I think at times his changeup has become so good, and his slider is so good that at times I think a couple of times he started to go almost to a 4-pitch mix, which he doesn't need to do as a reliever, but I understand why, because that changeup is so good. I mean, it raised the question I raised during the winter. I wasn't trying to tell him how to run their just could he go and become a starter next year, not this year.
Varitek strikes out Vargas with a 1-2-3 6th inning. The Red Sox 4-3 lead at the end of 6.
Turn to Frank Webb's Bass Centers, the showrooms of FWF. Find a showroom near you at frankwebb.com. Seventh inning back at Fenway Park, 4-3. Red Sox on top of the Seattle Mariners, and Terry Francona uses his third pitcher of the night, Bobby Jenks, into the game. His 10th appearance, 1-1. A 7.36 ERA. He's worked in 7 1/3. Bullets hitting at .290 against Jenks. 6 of his 9 outings this season have been scoreless. Second on the team in holds with 2. And he faces Ichiro Suzuki, who in his career is 2 for 5 against Jenks. Ichiro was the last batter the Daisuke faced as he lines one into left field. Opposite field base hit for Ichiro. Second hit of the night for Ichiro. He didn't wait around to get a fastball and goes the other way with it. Head out over the plate at 95.
It's amazing how he takes the ball slightly on the inner half and just carves it into left field. As you said, he was already halfway to first when he carved it.
You look down and he always looks like he's on the move, but 3-4 steps out of the box. Here is Sean Figgins. Youkilis in on the grass at third. Figgins takes strike one. Figgins has been aboard twice. Walk in the first inning, singled in the 5th. Wrapped around a ground out to second base. So Youkilis in at the lip of the grass at third. Figgins to left, and McDonald's not going to get there. In fact, it's going to get by him into the corner. Ichiro had to wait. He now takes third base. He looked up and took a look down there to see what McDonald was doing, then takes third base, but it's a double for Sean Figgins. And all of a sudden here, the Mariners have runners at second and third and nobody out. And Figgins quickly shooting it into left field. McDonald cutting over, but it's quickly by him. He's got to run it down into the corner, and Ichiro takes third on the double for Sean Figgins. So they are jumping on Jenks here in the 7th inning. First 2 batters, a single and a double. And you got the heart of the order coming up for the Mariners, Milton Bradley.
Well, they've carried their original Daisuke game plan over to Jenks by first fastball in the strike zone, go ahead and hack, and he stayed with it and went the other way with it.
Milton Bradley has flied out to right, struck out looking, and reached on an error. Sliced foul off to the left, and it is 1-1. Dunkin' Donuts is in its 13th year of hosting local youth groups and charitable organizations in the Dunkin' Dugout. Special seating section here at Fenway Park. Thousands of children have had the chance to catch a Red Sox home game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Red Sox on top 4-3. Here in the 7th inning, but Mariners are threatening. As Bradley takes the pitch inside, 2-1. 1 for 3 in his career against Bobby Jenks. Swing and a miss. Went to the slider that time on a 2-1 pitch. And Bradley can't get it.
Very good tilt on that slider.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Milton Bradley, second and third. Jenks with the breaking ball in the dirt. He went around. Varitek flies the tag for strike 3. Bradley strikes out. Big strikeout right there for Jenks. Needed that for the first out of the inning. Breaking ball right down into the dirt.
And Bradley does look like he went. Call made by the third base umpire, Jerry Davis, the crew chief.
What's odd about it is he was clearly unaware. He didn't even look up to third base to whether it was a check swing or not. Maybe it didn't cross his mind, but.
Second time he was struck out tonight. Now Miguel Olivo goes right side. Pedroia thought about coming home, but goes to first for the out, and the game is tied. So Olivo concentrating on going the other way. And he grounds out to Pedroia at second base, but the run scores that ties the game. Olivo gets his 8th RBI. And it is a 4-4 game now. And he gets the runner to third base.
First fastball, just jammed it, put it in play.
Pedroia took a look at the plate, but had no play there. So he gets the sure out at first base, 2 down.
Yeah, he's not going to throw Ichiro out at the plate on that.
There is Justin Smoak with the go-ahead run now 90 feet away. Ball in the dirt. Smoak tonight singled in the first inning, flied out to center in the 4th, and then struck out looking in the 5th. Two 2-0 to Smoak. Be very careful in dealing with Smokey. He has 4 home runs on the year, 15 runs batted in. Down and in, and it is 3-0. Jenks missing that time at 97. Good velocity, but off the mark. Single by Ichiro to start the inning. The double by Figgins sends in a strikeout for Bradley. Levo on a ground out scores a game tying run now at 3-0. And Smoak takes ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Justin Smoak. The Amica Pitch Zone is brought to you by Amica Insurance. Amica Insurance is not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated. And the last pitch that Daisuke Matsuzaka threw in tonight's game, and it was Ichiro Suzuki, and a single for Suzuki be the last pitch that Daisuke throws. It's announced that he left the game with right elbow tightness. So they're staying tight to Jason Varitek as Greg Barajas, trainer, arrived, and Terry Francona, and he came out of the game.
Well, it's nothing. You can't take any chance to leave him in there. We obviously don't know the extent of that right elbow tightness, but isn't exactly something you'd like to hear.
So the Red Sox lifted him after the base hit in the 4th inning. We saw Matt Albers for 2 innings. 1 hit, no runs, a walk, and a strikeout. And now Bobby Jenks, who's given up the tying run. I want to remind you, tomorrow night following Red Sox first pitch, join us for Red Sox Game Day Live presented by Uno's with TC, Jim, and Heidi at 6:30. We'll have complete coverage with reaction to the Bruins Game 1 matchup with the Flyers. Plus the Boston Globe's Peter Abraham will have the latest news and notes from around the majors. Our coverage begins live from Yawkey Way tomorrow at 6, and it's only on NESN. 2 outs in the 7th inning, 1st and 3rd for the Mariners. Jack Cuss, the batter. He's done tonight what he does all the time. Struck out and walked twice. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. He can do this too. He's off the scoreboard. Figgins has scored. Smoak will stop at 3rd on the RBI double by Jack Cust. That puts the Mariners on top 5-4.
Custos have good power the other way. Just below the belt, drove it to the left center field. I think, I was just thinking, baseball speed up rules, just start every Jack Cust at bat at 3-2. But he lulls pitchers into sort of, okay, I'm going to get the 3-2 eventually. So he throws a get-me-over fastball, and he rips it to left center.
And now it is second and third with 2 outs in the inning, and Adam Kennedy, the batter, takes ball 1 inside. Jenks did not allow a run in his first 4 appearances, but he's given up at least 1 run in 4 of the last 6. Second and third, 2 down.
I've not gotten any Ozzie Guillen tweets about Bobby James tonight. I checked, but
has he done anything during the game?
Well, I've checked. No, he hasn't tweeted tonight. I'm on Ozzie's list, but I figure all the networks go and interview managers during the game, in the dugout. Why not let Ozzie tweet 3 times a game?
1-1 to Kennedy. On the ground towards first base, Gonzalez will take it to the bag himself, and it'll end the inning, but the Mariners scored 2. 7th inning stretch is now 5-4 Seattle. Let's check in with your Need to Know with NESN Daily, presented by Sun Life Financial. Here's Randy Scott. Darnell McDonald leads it off here in the 7th inning, with the Mariners now on top 5-4. And Jason Vargas back on the mound. He's fresh off a 1-2-3 inning. Well, not fresh off. He had to wait 16 minutes. His team able to come up with a couple of runs in the 7th. There is action behind him as McDonald takes a pitch outside. Former Orioles closer Chris Ray is up in the pen for the Mariners. Darnell McDonald is walked and struck out as he takes the 1-1 outside, kind of surrounded the plate. And it is 2-1 to McDonald. 2 for 16 to start the year for Darnell, and very limited playing time. On the corner this time, and it's 2-2.
Well, David Ardsma, their closer, is still on rehab. He's coming back from an injury, but one thing, Eric Wedge said it, that both Jamie Wright and Brandon League have done a tremendous job with Ardsma away. So,
fly ball to right. Ichiro, almost in his tracks out there in right field, makes the catch for the first out of the 7th inning. Well, the Red Sox season is officially underway, and the best place on the radio to follow your favorite team is on the WEI Sports Radio Network. Every weekday morning, wake up with Dennis and Callahan for some Sox talk and a whole lot more. It's weekdays at 6 a.m. on WEI Sports Radio Network and right here on NESN. One out in the 7th inning, and the top of the Red Sox order, Jacoby Ellsbury. His 4th plate appearance against Jason Vargas. Pitch number 100 is strike 1 to Ellsbury.
It's interesting. Last time he came up, squared around the bunt. Next time he came up, Sean Figgins was up 2 steps at third base.
Even if he doesn't do it, he gives the team something to think about that he could. There's a pitch in the dirt and the count 1-1. You think the fact that he hit so many home runs in spring training and he's hit 4 home runs out of the game has changed his thought process at all at the plate?
Maybe that, plus just trying to make sure that his swing is right. I mean, you take a year off, obviously didn't take the year off, injuries took the year off, but finding that swing and finding the mechanics of it, and he sometimes has some timing issues where he'll start to close himself off at the plate a little bit, cut himself off at the plate, so maybe he just kind of put the bunt out of the formula, but he can do it.
Keep having to remember he played only 18 games last year. 1-2 is strike 3. Well, Vargas has gotten better as this game has gone along. That's 4 strikeouts now for Vargas. And he catches Ellsbury looking. 2nd out of the 7th inning. Appeared to be a fastball on the outside corner.
That definitely had the outside corner.
So 2 down, and Carl Willis, the pitching coach. Eric Wedge going over what they're going to do here with 2 outs in the inning, and Pedroia in on the right side. Here's a high fly ball to center field. Wynn knocking it back towards the infield as Saunders makes his way in and makes the catch. Quick and easy inning for Vargas, who's through 7. The Mariners have a 5-4 lead. Cameron has had a couple of solo home runs, had one in the 2nd and this in the 4th inning. Into the monster seats for Cameron, his first home runs of the year. Daisuke Matsuzaka leaving the game with right elbow tightness in the game tonight after 4+ innings, giving him 3 runs, 1 earned. And Jack Cust and the Mariners coming from behind as Cust to a double off the wall in left field in the 7th inning. Picked up an RBI, and the Mariners scoring twice in their half of the 7th. Take the 5-4 lead. Into the 8th we go. And it is ball 1 inside to Michael Saunders. Yaki Okajima has checked into this game. 4th Red Sox pitcher of the night. Third appearance for Okajima. Worked in 1 inning. Turning from the Pawtucket Red Sox. As there's a strike to Saunders. Induced to ground out to end the 7th inning on Tuesday night at Baltimore. Entered the game with 2 outs and 2 on. First major league action of 2011. Was at Oakland against the A's. Came up from the Paw Sox on the 18th of April. Takes over for Jenks, who came into the game, went 1 inning, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs. Walked a batter, struck out a batter, and Jenks is now on the hook. As both Ichiro and Figgins score in the 7th as Jamie Wright, the right-hander, up for the Mariners. Well, it appeared Jason Vargas got stronger as the night went on.
And he's stuck to his game plan. He's very consistent, going in, out, using his changeup very effectively.
Red Sox on their 4th pitcher of the night, while the Mariners get 7 from Vargas. Ends up striking out 4 in his outing. Got behind early, but kept his club in it. Gave the chance for his offense to come back in the game, and they do.
Other than Mike Cameron, he hasn't given up any extra base hits, and that's a very important thing. Throw strikes and kept the ball, just held them to singles.
Fouled back, still 2-2. Saunders walked in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th, flied out in the 6th. Ground ball hooked towards the end of the Red Sox dugout and foul. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you in part by Eastern Bank. At Eastern Bank, we believe something as simple as your checking account shouldn't come with a lot of strings attached. Eastern Free Checking. See just how good a checking account can feel. Saunders leading it off here in the 8th for the Mariners. Hideki Okajima ready with a 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up for Michael Saunders. First hitter that Okajima has faced since coming into the game. There's Brendan Ryan, then we'll see Ichiro here in the 8th. Fouled again. 5 pitches in a row that he has fouled off. Seattle comes into this game tonight with the lowest batting average in the American League, getting a .235. Team the lowest batting average in the majors. San Diego Padres hitting a .208. In the dirt, ball 3.
Okajima's fastball, to me, seems better than it was last year. It's been 87, 88. But he doesn't get swings and misses on it.
Got a foul ball. 3-2. Very close as he walks Saunders. See where this ends up. It's not where Veritek was set up. And just inside, very close. So lead runner on here for the Mariners in the 8th, and it brings up Brendan Ryan. Popped out to third base in the 2nd, flied out to left in the 4th, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning.
Interesting to see if Wedge plays for 1 run, tries to get the 2-run lead for his bullpen. He does have Ichiro coming up. He's got Figgins who's starting to swing the bat better, so
Pulls back, takes ball 1. Look at the top of the order coming up. Some guys that can do some things, especially with Ichiro, as you mentioned. Ryan did square, but took ball 1. Here's Ichiro waiting on deck. Takes a strike this time as he pulls it back. One time showing bunt, one time a ball, one time a strike. And at the lip of the grass at third is Youkilis. Saunders a lead at first as Okajima readies with the 1-1. Time called very late. Granted by home plate umpire Sam Holbrook. Gets it very late.
Not sure why he got that. They changed the rules. They don't carry them through.
Ball 2, 2-1. What was the rule change?
Well, they just that the batters were supposed to get that permission to step out earlier, not while the pitcher was starting to get into his delivery, and there had to be some reason to grant it. It wasn't as if he was grabbing his eyes and having problems seeing. He just decided to step out. In attempts to speed up the game, they were trying to eliminate that.
Gets the bunt down. Okajima will go to first, and the sacrifice is complete. And Saunders moves along to second base. So if he does get it down. And Saunders in a scoring position now for the top of the order coming up. Running it back to the pitcher, Okajima, but not hard enough for Okajima to even look at second base. He did not. And went right to first to get Ryan. Sacrifice 1-4, and Saunders to second base. So Ryan got the job done.
Ichiro's 2 for 7 lifetime against Oki.
Ichiro with singles in each of his last 2 at bats. Okajima bluffs off the backside of the mound. Action in the Red Sox pen as Tim Wakefield warming up. Already seen Matt Albers, Bobby Jenks, and Hideki Okajima in relief of Daisuke Matsuzaka. Again left this game with right elbow tightness in the 5th inning. Ichiro almost leaned into that pitch. He was showing bunt. There's Michael Saunders at second base with 1 out in the 8th. Inside ball 2. There are the numbers for Ichiro against Hideki Okajima. Sean Figgins waiting on deck, 1 out in the 8th. Ichiro takes ball 3.
Well, he keeps trying to come in on him, but too far.
taking 3-0, and he takes a strike over the inside corner, so they stay in again. This time get the corner. A walk by Michael Saunders to begin the inning. Sacrifice bunt for Brendan Ryan. Gets Saunders to second base. Mariners already on top by a run, looking for more here in their half of the eighth. And Hideki Okajima ready with a 3-1 pitch as Ichiro gets time. Ball 4, he walks him. Second walk of the inning allowed by Okajima. So 2 on 1 away, and Sean Figgins coming up. Figgins is 2 for 5 in his career against Okajima at .400. And tonight he's been aboard 3 times. A walk, a ground out, a single, and a double. Scored 2 runs. Strike 1 over the outside corner. Okajima's walked 2 of the 3 batters that he's faced since coming into the game here in the 8th. Saunders at second, Ichiro at first, 1 down. 0-1 to Figgins. Towards second, and Pedroia will touch second and fire to first for a double play. Ended up being positioned perfectly, hit well, but a double play ends the top of the 8th. Mariners have a 5-4 lead. Insurance. John Lackey takes him on tomorrow against the Mariners team he dominated last year. Lackey was 1-0 with a 1.13 ERA and 16 Ks and 2 starts against Seattle. Pitched 8 innings in both starts, including 7 2/3 of no-hit ball in his first meeting on July 22nd. Our live coverage begins tomorrow at 6, and it's right here on NESN. 5-4. Mariners on top as we head to the last half of the 8th inning back at Fenway Park. Jack Wilson has taken over at second base. And the new pitcher is Jamie Wright into the game. His 13th appearance, no record, but a nifty 0.79 earned run average. Struck out 9 and 11 and a third. The opponents are only hitting 179 against him. The right-hander ready with a first pitch strike over the inside corner to Adrian Gonzalez. So Jason Vargas gives him 7 innings in the ball game tonight. Red Sox had 8 hits off Vargas and scored 4 runs. Walked 2, struck out 4. Gonzalez takes ball 1. Red Sox have action in their pen. Daniel Bard, the right-hander, warming. We've already seen Albers, Jenks, and Okajima out of the pen. Foul tipped 1-2.
Jamie Wright's one of those guys who's kicked around a long time. There's a joke that he's a perennial spring training invitation guy, but he's really pitched well for him. His stuff's come back and it's good. He's a tough guy who's been through a lot of injuries.
He's retired 32 of the 43 batters he's faced this season. And it's ball 2 to Gonzalez. Last year made 28 relief appearances for the Mariners. 3.41 ERA. He's pitched for 8 teams in his major league career. And has pitched in 43 different ballparks. 7th most among active pitchers. It's his 19th pro season. Gonzalez to right field. Ichiro moving in and over, and he'll make the catch. With the slide for good measure. He makes the catch, and Gonzalez for out number 1. Not sure Ichiro needed the slide, but he does anyway. Makes the grab for the first out here of the 8th. One down in the 8th inning for Kevin Youkilis.
A lot of artistic flair on the way he with the glove.
Always stretching in the outfield too if you watch him. He's going to be loose at all times. But a lot of fun to watch, no doubt. Red Sox don't get to see him very often, of course. Mariners in the American League West. First time they've seen Seattle this season. 1-0. He was in there for strike 1. Youkilis been aboard twice tonight. He struck out back in the first, but since then a single and a walk. So going to run with his single in the 3rd inning. And that was 15 RBIs on the year. Tried to hold up on a pitch up, could not. Right with the fastball upstairs, and Youkilis couldn't hold up.
Oh, the 4-seamer that just, I think Youkilis will normally see a lot of 2-seamers out of right, fooled him.
Youkilis now, Ortiz next. Red Sox batting in the bottom of the 8th. Two to Youkilis. Drills it foul over the head of Tim Bogar in the third base coach's box. Well, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Red Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will donate $500 to Children's Hospital Boston. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. The guy's got 5 saves for the Mariners. Brandon Lee, the former Toronto Blue Jay, up in the pen. Youkilis strikes out on the breaking ball.
That was a very nice curveball.
Started right at him and ended up, it appeared, over the heart of the plate. Right in the corner on the curveball. It's out number 2 of the 8th. Second time Youkilis is down by way of the K tonight. And here's David Ortiz, 1 for 3 night, an RBI single, back in the 3rd. Strike 1. Ortiz 2 for 9 in his career against Wright. It's a high fly ball out to right center field, but Saunders makes the catch that ends things here in the 8th. Red Sox go 1-2-3, 5-4 Mariners at the end of 8. BB Mason's Extra Innings Live with TC and Heidi get a breakdown of Daisuke Matsuzaka's performance tonight, including the manager's perspective from the press room segment. Plus, he'll look ahead as the Bruins travel to Philadelphia for Game 1 of the conference semifinals. It's all coming up right after the game on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. 5-4 Mariners on top of the Red Sox as we head to inning number 9. Daniel Bard becomes the 5th pitcher of the night for Terry Francona. He works the 9th inning, his 12th appearance. 0-3 with a 3.97 earned run average. 11 to third innings, giving up 11 hits, has 11 Ks, and opponent's hitting at 275 against him. He was tagged with a career-high 3rd loss on Wednesday night at Baltimore, allowing an unearned run on 3 hits in the 8th inning. It snapped a stretch of 7 straight scoreless outings for him in 7 2/3 innings, dating all the way back to April the 8th. Milton Bradley leads it off and takes ball 1 inside.
We were talking earlier about a little bit of the development of Daniel Bard, where his changeup, which really acts like a split. He's got the really good breaking ball. At one point, his two-seamer moved so much last year that Martinez couldn't catch it, so they just gave up throwing that after a while. But he's got 4 pitches, and that's why I always wondered, with that very compact delivery, could he end up starting?
This is at Pedroia at second base, and Bradley is on number 1. I remember talking about this during the winter, and it's an interesting thought moving forward. I mean, still a very young guy, and whether or not he could make that transition. It's just so hard where he's so good in that 8th inning role to then go in another direction.
Exactly. Plus, you don't know, whether Jonathan Papelbon's going to be back next year.
Correct.
And even though Papelbon has come back a long way, thrown so much better than he did last year, it's still, he's a free agent at the end of the year, so you don't know what happens with Bard.
To me, in watching Papelbon, the fact that he's used his secondary pitches so much, it appears that it is giving hitters so much more to think about than they ever did a year ago.
Absolutely. And he's regained, I remember him saying to me a lot last year that he just couldn't get the feel of his delivery. His landing foot was coming down in a different place all the time. And he was always a control master early in his career, but he's got that back now. He's pounding that fastball down and away the way he did back at of 2006 to 2008.
Well, Miguel Olivo here. Down on the count 0-1. 1-for-4 night for the Mariners catcher, batting with 1 out in the 9th. Swing and a miss. There's a slider. It's 0-2. So hard when you're all geared up for a fastball that Bard's got, then he drops this on you. Slider out of the reach of Olivo.
Yeah, that left shoulder was flying out thinking fastball, and whoops.
Zips the fastball in at 99, freezes him and strikes him out. 2 down in the 9th. So with fastball, slider, and back to the gas, and that one might have been out of the strike zone, but Olivo is gone. 2 down.
He does it so effortlessly. It's just amazing. I mean, I remember that night here last year when he and Feliz each pitched 2 innings, and they were going 101, 102. It looked like they were playing catch.
That's a guy that the Rangers flirted with the idea of putting in the rotation this year, decided not to, and not mistaken, he's on the DL now.
He is, although they expect him back next week. And now let's raise the whole question, do they take Ogando and put him back in the bullpen? But the Rangers' feeling is, Ogando's been so good. It's really, Alexi's been their best starting pitcher. Go ahead and let him keep starting and then try to figure out how to get through with 40-year-old Arthur Rhodes and Darren Oliver.
Justin Smoke batting with 2 down in the inning. Takes the 0-1 for strike 2. Friday Night Baseball on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. Great seats at great prices. 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Justin Smoke batting. Red Sox trailing by a run, trying to keep it right where it's at. And Bard just misses. Smoke lucky to be still standing at home plate.
That's pretty interesting. 2 really good backdoor sliders in a row. Now that was outside, but
tough pitch to take down.
I know. That's pretty patient hitting. Either that or it was give up hitting. Take a chance.
One of the other. The 1-2 pitch to Justin Smoke. Grounded right side. Pedroia ranges from the outfield grass. The off balance throw. Nice play. It is a 1-2-3. Top of the 9th. League will be on. Mariners have a 5-4 lead.
Lackey start tomorrow as the Sox continue their longest homestand of the season. Plus, all the highlights from around the majors. It's all coming up right after the game, and it's only on NESN. Jed Lowry leading it off in the last half of the ninth inning against Brandon League. As Peter Gammons mentioned earlier, David Aardsma working his way back, rehabbing in League. He's 5 for 5 in save opportunities. His 11th appearance out of the Mariners' pen. And he misses twice. It's now 2-0.
They always thought in Toronto that League could be a closer. And it just, something would happen. He's one of the most sought-after relievers, one of those guys he figures somewhere in his career maybe he'll end up finding. He throws in the 90s. Good lively stuff, great delivery.
Lowry hits it in the air out to deep center field. Saunders on the run back towards the triangle to make the catch in the triangle. Saunders had to go a long way back by the bullpen, but Lowry is out number 1 of the ninth inning. I thought I got a lot more of that.
So did I. It's one of those balls, no consolation. July, that's a home run. But
cool night at Fenway with the wind blowing. It is not.
Yeah, the wind knocked it down. The wind coming across a little bit knocked it down.
Definitely a crosswind here tonight, left to right. Credit Saunders for getting back there, too. He had to go a long way. 1 out here in the ninth. Mike Cameron's already had a very good night. With a solo home run in the second inning, a solo home run in the fourth inning. Popped out in the sixth inning. Ball 1. In case, Jonathan Papelbon warming in the Red Sox pen. And on deck, he'll bat for Jason Varitek is J.D. Drew. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Sullivan Tire, Dunkin' Donuts, and by New England Toyota dealers. 1 out in the ninth inning. And Mike Cameron waiting on a 1-1 from Brandon Lee. In tight, ball 2.
One of the things that hitters will tell you about League is hard to pick up with that little hesitation in his delivery.
Fly ball to shallow right center this time. Saunders coming in, so is Ichiro, and Ichiro makes the catch. Wind blew it back towards him. 2 down. That is now 11 in a row retired by Mariners pitching. And a combination of Vargas, Wright, and League. And it'll take something from J.D. Drew for us to continue here. 2 down in the ninth. Drew pinch hitting for Jason Varitek, who had been 1 for 3. There's ball 1. Paul Crawford has come out on deck. If we get that far, he would bat for Darnell McDonald. Kind of a breather tonight for Crawford after a tough series in Baltimore against the Orioles. 1-0 to Drew. Sliced foul, 1-1.
96 miles an hour coming off that little, the way he cocks his arm and then.
Remind everybody, complete post-game reaction after the game. Red Sox extra innings live. 1-1. Drew taps it foul. He's down 1-2.
Very nice split there. It looked as if Drew was looking dead red. Comes up with a split. Now you can see that right shoulder flying.
1-2 to Drew. In the dirt, 2-2.
Ran in the league last year for the Mariners, 70 appearances, was 9-7, the 3.42 ERA. And his first save, April the 2nd. 5 for 5 in save opportunities in the absence of David Ardsma. Ready with a 2-2 to J.D. Drew. Strike 3 and the game is over. Drew takes it as Sam Holbrook rings him up. And the Seattle Mariners, who get good pitching at the end of the game, in fact, they retire the last 12 Red Sox in a row and come from behind to win it 5-4. And we'll get a look at the final pitch of this game and see where it ended up. Drew didn't think it was a strike, but it appears to be on the Amica pitch
Too
zone.
good to take right there. Sorry.
No doubt. And JD did. It ends the game, and tonight, very frustrating game, Peter. And the Red Sox with the Mariners coming back late.
Well, I'll give a lot of credit to Jason Vargas for hanging around. He's one of those guys talking about him in the afternoon, and the Red Sox hitters really respect him because he just sticks to what he does. He throws the ball over the plate. He works both sides of the plate. But of greater concern is what's the story with Daisuke Matsuzaka? That's something we'll probably find out in the next day or two. And what do they do if Daisuke has to miss a few starts and go on the disabled list?
4 straight wins for the Seattle Mariners, who win 5-4. We thank Peter Gammons and Heidi Wadney. I'm Don Arcillo saying good night from Fenway Park. Join us again tomorrow night for Game 2 of the series. It'll be John Lackey taking on Doug Pfister. Our live coverage from Yawkey Way begins at 6 o'clock. It's been a presentation of NESN, New England's most watched sports network. Time now for a preview. What's coming up on WB Mason's Extra Innings Live. Here's Tom Caron.